playing.
Hey,
Yeah.
It was playing.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
playing, but it did
My
that thing
bad.
again.
Yeah,
It
I don't know.
unmuted me, and I was like,
I know, that's why I kept muting you, and you kept unmuting, and I'm like,
oh yeah,
mute!
because I didn't know what was going on. My bad.
I'm just trying to do
Hi,
sign
guys.
language behind the microphone.
Hey, Nadine. What's
Hey.
up? I have to paint Nadine's boots soon.
Because they're made for walking.
That's just what to do.
I'm doing our designs on the boots.
You think Christopher Walken has boots that are made for walking?
No, but I do
Susan!
think I think he's going to stab you in the face with a soldering iron.
Hey,
Hey,
you're talking to my guy. All wrong.
hey guys. What's the opposite of Christopher Walken?
Christopher not Walken or Reeves.
Christopher Reeves.
Oh,
Yeah.
I literally got that in the middle of it.
In the middle of what you said.
Well, you
I was like,
pivoted, so
Christopher
it
not-
almost sounded like that was his. It was like Christopher not Walken Reeves. It was like it was his nickname, which just made
Did
it
you
worse,
see-
which was great.
Which did make it so much worse.
Seeing how Delphine
Wowie,
is.
wow.
Wowie wow wow.
No, not.
Every time I
Borat.
hear wow wow wowie
Not
wow wow,
Borat.
it's Borat.
It's not Borat though.
Did you see how Delphine is wearing the old school Batman '89 emblem? Did you see, because Henry Cavill is no longer Superman, they officially made Christopher Reeves Superman the canon Superman for right now. So, like, he is the Superman. I guess he's like not Superman Prime, but
That's okay.
I'm
You know,
losing
I only
my
care about
mind,
one
but-
thing. I care that we have the rightful Batman back in place, at least temporarily.
Yeah.
Yep. He's the,
You guys
the
hear
only
an
man to
echo?
ever. He's yeah. Is it on my end? Maybe.
Scott?
There's no echo on my end.
How about now?
Now there is.
Yeah. See, it wasn't for mine originally then.
Okay.
No, but he was the only person I think to ever play both Batman and Bruce Wayne at the same time, like fantastically. Everyone else I felt like did like one or the other okay.
You know what? My brain just stopped. I was gonna say I was actually quite impressed with Sparkles the Vampire.
Yeah, he was. Really
I
good
actually
at that.
forgot about that for just a second, honestly. And yeah, I got to say I was extremely impressed because he played Bruce Wayne great too. It was just that age of Bruce Wayne was very different than the one we usually see.
Yeah.
But I know we're getting a sequel to it, which I'm excited as shit about. And the thing is, I never doubted him as an actor because, I mean, yeah, he did Twilight, he did Harry Potter, but he did Lighthouse. He did a lot of other stuff that was actually like drama and so that was fantastic.
Happy New Year,
Yeah.
Scott.
Happy New Year, Scott's
I'm
mom.
staying all
With his
night in
mom in
hospice
hospice.
with her.
And that was like Batman meets Saul.
Hi,
that
Scott's
movie.
mom.
That's what it felt like.
Yeah.
Batman meets
like-
Saul with all grunge soundtrack, which was just, of course, the soundtrack for me.
Something in the
I love
vein.
that song.
I know.
Hi,
I
Sven.
do, and he always tries to ruin it.
Has been.
Hi, Sven.
I like that
Happy New
they
Year.
showed everything from the detective angle finally with Batman, because we got that a million times in the comics, but we haven't seen that in the shows or not since the
Not
original
seen it.
animated series.
Well, yeah,
what I'm
that's
saying-
just like the greatest thing ever. You'll never ever be as good as the animated series was.
Yeah. Oh no,
Susan,
and
at least you haven't done it live. I had them playing. I was watching the show, then joined, and then had it still playing on YouTube on another tab.
And
I was
we're all
like, why
polite.
is everybody like 30 seconds behind? And they were harmonizing for me. It was the coolest stream.
Oh, I remember that.
Or not.
Yep.
It
I
was
remember that. We were
so
singing.
fun.
So,
Everybody's like, oh.
one of the things that I was saying, I was talking to my dad. I was like, it's kind of nice to see him out of that role that he had in Twilight. And then I was like, no, wait, no,
What?
he's in the same role.
I don't think he is.
No. Listen, brooding,
Tortured millionaire.
melancholy. The only thing is, he didn't sparkle.
Yep.
I just
He was still, a millionaire because the Coens had millions of dollars. They were
Yeah.
rich as fuck. So yeah, in a way, he was like a weird
He was
version
basically the same.
of
I like
Did
that
he
they
sit in
took
girls' rooms and stare at them?
He's all.
Willow is
I mean,
such a
it
great
was
show.
dirty, but I mean that was young Bruce. That was like year one.
Well, No, it's year two.
Year 2.
That's the awkwardness of it. Year 1 is when he's all gung ho doing it. Year 2 is when he's questioning himself as if he's doing the right thing. And they brought that across brilliantly in the movie.
Have
I
you
thought it was great.
seen the movie that he did with oh my god, I'll remember his name, Willem Dafoe?
That's the Lighthouse movie, right?
Yeah, have you seen it though?
I haven't seen it. Susan's seen it. She swears by it. That's
Dude,
really,
I will
really
tell
good.
you,
What's it
if
called?
anyone has
Lighthouse?
ever doubted that guy, what's his name, Pattinson?
Robert
Robert
Pattinson.
Pattinson. If anyone has ever doubted him as an actor, watch that
Oh.
movie. You will never doubt it again for the rest of your life.
That movie's
Like
supposed
that.
to be Lovecraftian too,
I'm
It
not
isn't
was
it?
that moment like when Leonardo DiCaprio did Catch Me If You Can with Tom Hanks, where everybody was like, "Oh, he's the pretty boy. He can only do this," and then that movie came along, and
You're
it was
like,
like,
"This is
"Holy
great."
fuck!" That was
Okay.
Robert Pattinson's like true moment right there.
I'm not a big fan of the Twilight series.
I'm not a big fan of the Twilight series, but I watched them all in one
He
day. I'm not
binged
kidding.
them.
I really
I watched
did.
them all.
He binged them.
I mean, if
It's
you're gonna
not
watch a
that I-
series, watch it. I mean,
It's not that I think that it's
Yes,
that
Susan
bad.
Lighthouse with Defoe.
It's just, you know what I think it is? Just emotional damage from taking kids to go see it over
yeah.
and over.
We talked about that on there.
Yeah. I think it's
Like-
just emotional damage.
As a writer, I really appreciate Stephanie Meyer's work. As an author, like I did enjoy the books to a degree, but
Hmm.
for me, if you were to actually remove Edward and Bella from the equation, it was a very rich world with fantastic characters, great
Oh, it could
story,
have
great plot.
completely.
Yeah, and then the last book had the best characters in the entire everything. There's
I
these
just,
two
Wait, are we-
asshole Romanian
like
vampires.
Kristen Stewart.
We're still talking. Okay, we're still talking about
Yeah.
Twilight. You know, the
But
only thing I
here's why you
hated
have to
about that.
like it. It's the Let me finish this real quick. It's the Romanian vampires. They sit on the wall. They watch both sides go to war. They heckle both sides, and when questioned by both sides, they're just like, "Yeah." So we just kind of showed up because we didn't have anything else to do, and we just figured whoever won, we'd be cool with. While they're just continuing to heckle the shit out of it, there's blood flying, and they're just like, "Yeah, good job. Hey, you suck."
I never
fucking rad,
actually
actually.
watched the rest of them. I've seen.
They don't do it in the movie. Like they're
Oh,
not.
okay.
They're kind
Oh.
of in the final movies, but like they shine in the books, and they just kind of took a lot of it out because they whitewashed those movies from blood like entirely because they would turn to ice instead of like dying and bleeding. But it was very fun. There was blood everywhere. I mean, it was insane in the books to just watch the tween.
The one thing that really turned me off to the movies, even though I watched all of them
Was
once,
that they sparkled?
no, I actually could deal with that. Werewolves are supposed to be werewolves. They're not supposed to be gigantic wolves.
So
I mean, I know if you're going by a white wolf, they can shape shift into a giant wolf, but the
Yeah.
Krynos form is the werewolf form, and
Yeah.
they're supposed to be
Very
graphic
cool.
and bloody and stuff like that.
So if you actually look at the native tribe that's over in that area of Washington, a lot of their tales and history involving werewolves they were literally just giant wolves. They weren't. It was people
Oh,
that could. They were
the whole-
shifters.
Yeah, the skinwalker.
They should have called them
thing,
shifters and not werewolves. Is what they
Yeah.
should have done because that's actually what they were. And I think it was her mislabeling that made it confusing.
What is it? What's the forms again? There's okay, I forgot it. Okay, there's the base
Been a while
human
since I
form.
played.
Then there's the in between where you
Hybrid.
become kind of a hulking wolf slightly. You become the wolf man basically, but less hairy. And then you go into Krynos, and then you go into Hispo, and then
It's
you go into
Hamid, Glabro, Krynos,
There you
Hispo, and Lupus.
Lupus. Yeah.
Now,
Oh, yeah,
Lupus
Lupus
is
is the
the
last
ultimate form where you're just a wolf and you're just a big ass wolf.
I like the way they set that up too, where you can either choose to live as a wolf your entire life, or if you're born as a wolf, but you're a werewolf, you can shapeshift into a man.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people who just say, "Screw it, I'm going to stay as a wolf and live in the woods."
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
In
And
the
that's
game.
how
Yeah.
furries are born.
Okay, you see that right when I'm gonna say like that's one of the things that I'm in one of the books that I'm writing.
Furry.
It has
Look on your face.
Oh, I was
it,
like, what did I get
it,
flipped off?
it has a form of shifters in it that I'm not writing shifter porn though, which is something that I've noticed is like a lot of things when it goes to shifters. That's
huge.
what's
That's called a missed
huge these
opportunity.
days.
Yeah, it's a
But,
missed
Missed
opportunity.
opportunity.
Yeah.
But there are the ability of these beings. They're like the children of the god of the woods and nature and everything, who he decided wolves deserve to have something, and so they can be human in form or they can be wolves in form. And they breed true if they breed with a human, so the child will be whatever they are, and they live an exceptionally long time. So there's some kind of like, or you can marry somebody within your own pack or a different pack or something. But they also have the wolves. But a wolf born a wolf has to stay a wolf. But some of the kin will decide to mate with a wolf for life because they're, and I don't want it to be like weird
Bestiality.
Bestiality.
Yeah, because they are
Why is
just-
that
they are
human
just
Legal in
cool.
Canada
behind
and
that?
in numerous other states
They're-
in America.
There's
They're
a human stuff
intelligent
behind a
and
wolf.
stuff. They just can't change from their wolf form, but but they understand. And so so I don't want it to. So I'm trying to figure out how to approach that in a way that isn't super weird for people. that I'm
Gung
not
ho
gonna get
straight in.
attacked
Don't
on.
even
I started reading this
no fucks given. Just do it.
this one book because it was just one of those free books that they gave out. And I was like, oh, this isn't too. Oh, there's the wolf porn. Yep, there it is.
Yeah, I used to like
The
the
28th day
what's her name?
shall be bleeding naked.
The cop. They had the
And in
vampire
lupine
circus.
Would you
ways.
stop talking over people?
So I'm sorry, Delphine.
Just singing.
Will
you stop it?
alleviate the pain.
You said sorry and then kept doing it.
Sanguine addiction.
He just tries to force me to laugh.
It's like BP when the oil spill happened and South Park
BP?
did the thing where they drilled so
What?
deep they awoke Cthulhu, and
Yeah.
the CEO is just like doing poses by the fire and in a chair and the shirt off. And he's just going, "I'm sorry, sorry."
Sorry.
Oh, it's the Anita Blake books. I really liked the first ones, and then it was just like I picked one up at the dollar store once, and then just kind of went, "Oh my god, they didn't even leave the bedroom for this entire novel."
That's
But
one
there
of
were
my
15
favorite series,
people
and
that
I
she
had
was
never
in.
read one, and I've read like
Or
the
in
first
her.
4 or 5, and those were still pretty good. But the first 4 or
Yeah.
5 where I'm at now are still pretty good. The story's really interesting.
Yeah.
Now it's
I
just
was
like,
Nadine got it.
We all got it.
I know.
We all got
oh,
it.
Hey, I'm Peter Steele. I can't do his voice.
No, you can't.
I know. I mean, I have a deep voice to begin with. I mean, I can sing.
But his is like ridiculously deep.
He was a garbage truck driver in Queens, I think, wasn't he?
I'm
Wait,
He works
how
for-
does that, wait, how does him being a garbage truck driver equate to the depth of his
I don't
voice?
understand.
Well, the song "The
Explain.
Green Man."
he
The
is
funny
a
thing
true
is, that
peso because he drove a garbage truck.
Oh,
yeah,
Yes.
90% of the
Leonard
music
Cohen
he
didn't
wrote,
drive a garbage truck.
90% of the music he wrote. From the first stuff, the feces
He had
incident,
a
whatever it is.
Brooklyn accent. Yep.
Yep, he wrote it while working for Parks and Recs, and while in the truck. Black number one was written in the garbage truck. No joke.
But
The Green
who
Man
are we
on
talking
October
about
Rust.
when you said the feces incident? What is
One of the they have a mock live album called
this-
The Feces.
who
Something
are
the
we
Feces.
talking about?
Typo negative.
negative.
Okay.
Did you hear his cover of "Oops, I Did It Again" back in the
Like-
day?
Really?
No, it is actually pretty epic, dude. Peter Steele's cover that is epic as hell.
I swear to God, he didn't
was
do that.
years
But I'm gonna
ago.
look it up.
No, I'm serious. He really did. He really did.
I still got to remember the time that we discovered, or he discovered, because I'd actually heard them already.
Oh,
October Noir.
Thank you.
And
Nadine.
I don't know how, like, I literally walked out for just a minute, got something to drink, came back in, and there were like tears.
you
running
have to
down his
understand.
face.
Okay, you know how hard it is to wear out a CD from listening to it. That's how much I listened to October Rust. And then when I found out Peter Steele really did die, and especially
Oh,
when I was about
man.
to go see him, like I was making plans to go see him that year, 2007 or something like that. I think.
8?
No, he died in
Yeah,
2009. I'm sorry, the last album came out until like 2007, 2009, or somewhere around there. And I was making plans to go see them.
Which one is it?
I said somewhere around there. And then all of a sudden he died, but before he faked his death like 2 or 3 times prior just to fuck with people, and this
Oh,
time
yeah.
it was real. But then when I heard October Noir, I was like, oh my god, he really did fake his death.
2012,
Yeah.
April 14th.
My sister's first husband toured with Typo for like a decade. It was a vampire themed band that always like hung out in like open form and shit, and they would hang upside down on stage. Sympathy for the Damned or something like that. I can't remember the full name of it, but they were one of the touring bands with them. Dude
The
was
origin of
super
the
weird
Feces,
though, but not a good weird. He was just a very odd guy.
Well,
Who, Peter Steele?
No, the guy that
Oh.
the lead singer, the front man, my sister's her first ex-husband. I should
Oh,
say, I guess.
it was awkward.
Yeah, he was not normal.
Well, I walk in and he has like tears streaming down his face.
I was really fucking wasted too.
He was. And I was like, what the hell? And I start listening, and it was October Noir covering
Cry
My
Little Sister.
Oh yeah,
And
I've heard that. Cover.
Yeah, that one's on the playlist of mine now. Their cover of it.
And Tom is just phenomenal.
Yeah.
Honestly, he has a killer voice, and you know what? They're not a typo cover band.
No,
they do typo covers because
every
he has
time
the range.
Every time we've interviewed him, I've tried my hardest not to talk so much about Typo Negative, but it's something that Tom and me have in common so much that we do talk about it. But I was like, I want to talk about your music and then basically tell you guys to fuck off when I'm hungry. No, I'm just kidding.
They did an amazing job on it. And there were a couple of his Crimson and Clover, their Crimson and Clover.
Yeah, Crimson and Clover is fucking rad.
Was rad, and it didn't sound like Peter Steele covering
Crimson
and Clover. It did sound. It sounded like October Noir covering Crimson and Clover.
Yeah,
you know, I don't know how else to say that.
That's one of the coolest things that I got to learn all about Scurry Face once I joined here. And about October Noir, like right when I joined with you guys, because you're doing the interview with the drummer, I believe.
Tyler.
Yeah, Tyler. Tyler's rad.
Doug's rad.
Doug's rad.
I don't know if they got a new guitarist.
They do have a new guitarist, but we haven't met him yet. So I don't know. I'm sure he's rad because these people are all super awesome people.
They're one of those bands or people. They're a group of people that are up there like Scurry Face that I'll try to promote left and right because they're just good guys.
They're genuinely nice people, genuinely great guys.
I was immediately like hopping onto Discord and recommending them to people because they're friends of mine who we'd just been talking about like that style of music and like, oh, I really love this song. I'm like, okay, I just learned about this band. Here's a link.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I do that with them all the time. I do that with my friend's band, Voices of Ruin, because like they're fucking amazing. And
oh yeah, what's your friend's Lonnie? Yeah, Lonnie's rad.
Dave's awesome, lead singer.
I never met Lonnie. I only knew him from Facebook. And when we went to RuneFest, the first thing that because it's basically it's their festival, right?
It's their festival, but sometimes they'll get some bands that have been around longer than them.
They get a lot of good bands that come in there.
So they'll like be somewhere in the middle of Ruin Fest.
Yeah.
And then they'll have like Pessimist go on after them or something.
We missed and I think we actually saw Pessimist.
We saw Pessimist.
Yeah,
there was
Pessimist
one more band,
rad.
but I forget.
They got broke down on the freeway and then they ended up showing up, and I was like, dude, we're tired. Let's go.
And but so it was great because we were sitting at the bar. Lonnie saw me and was like, "Hey," and walks up, "Hey, Frank, how are you?"
Well, yeah, it's one of those things where you meet like
Texas.
real musicians and stuff like that, and they not real music, but real people who are nice and stuff like that when they're musicians, and they actually automatically come up to you and are like, "Oh, I've been friends with your girlfriend or wife for years now, and now I'm meeting you," and he immediately like just shook my hand and was like, "Hey, how's it going? Let's talk for a little bit." Stuff like that. It was rad.
They're freaking awesome. They got to go to Bakken.
Nice.
Like, and actually, they've done it twice now.
And
then another friend's band actually got to go. That was fun too.
So you get the Wacken Open Air Festival in Germany is
Bakken.
It's a week long thing like for metalheads, and it's hundreds of thousands of metalheads like will just go there, and it's just huge. They have a gigantic fair in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Like, and it's
I want to go so bad.
And it's also right before not Beer Fest, but what's it called again?
Oktoberfest.
Oktoberfest. It's in August. So
Beer Fest.
Yeah, Beer Fest is fucking rad.
We have to do the Bergen at some point too. Bergen Arts
Bergen.
Festival.
Oh, in Norway. I'd love to go to Bergen.
Oh God.
Okay, so we're
Fucking.
gonna run some Kickstarters this year to send all of us over to catch
Bergen
some
is
voices.
Bergen is the.
Can we go to Oslo?
We're just gonna go around and see all the
we
musicians
have a
that we
Canadian
love.
podcast tour to see which one of us gets turned into a walrus first.
Yes.
Oh God.
Have you seen Freya the Walrus? Have you seen the reports about Freya the Walrus? I
It's
was
just our
laughing
dog.
so
It's our mastiff in the
because
ocean.
our
That's all it is.
mastiff is fat, and her
Just a
name is
mastiff in a
Freya.
wetsuit.
She likes wearing clothes. She loves wearing
She was
shirts.
sinking boats. She was going out and chilling on boats at the in the fjords or whatever, and the people would come to their boats sinking, and they're like, "It's that fucking walrus again!" Like, and so I'm laughing reading all of these reports because I'm just imagining our mastiff in like a costume sinking
Because that's what she would
boats.
do if she
Like,
was a walrus. She would just like jump up on you and say, I love you, and then kill you from her weight.
Right. I mean, come on now.
She's like, I'm just trying to keep you warm.
I just love you so much. Oh my god.
I had to babysit a dog once that was bigger than I am, and
Yeah.
his name was Frank. And,
His name.
there was
Frank.
Bella,
His
was
name?
this
Frankers.
nice little border collie that lived with him, and then Frank was, I don't know what he was.
They were pretty big
giant and
guys.
curly and just
Oh, Irish Wolfhound?
massive.
Was he gray?
No, it wasn't that. I
Oh.
thought it could have been. I used to see one of those when I used to live in Omaha.
Love those.
And these families would walk up their Irish Wolfhound down in the old market, and they had little kids who would ride on the back.
Love it.
It was so cute. But this dog, when it would like get in my face, and I'm like, I couldn't actually put it away. It would like just
Yeah, we're
like,
we're pretty rapey. Just to let you guys know.
Right.
and
Guy's
and
name
it's
Frank.
sweet. I had to put it outside to put its food in a bowl because now when I would try to like scoop the food and put it in, it would be like like
Yeah.
eating the food before it
Yeah.
would hit the bowl.
That's us.
It's
we're-
just terrible.
Yep.
We're
A
fat.
Razorback.
We're fat. And
maybe?
we eat everything.
I do little dogs. Just need little dogs.
I
Sexual
I
harassment.
love
Panda.
big dogs. Sexual harassment.
Was
Panda.
And a kitty cat that keeps hopping up here.
it Officer Brady that got taught by the chicken fucker?
Ray-Ban.
Yeah. And he taught him how to like
Officer
read.
Brady, yeah.
Brady, yeah.
Brady.
He taught him how to read.
Here. Yeah.
The chicken
The,
fucker.
the magic reading bus episode where they had all the books in the bus.
I gotta
The
brush
whole
the,
reason to fuck the
episode.
chickens was literally to teach them how to read.
Ha ha! I just
There
like
we
how the
go.
guy was acting at the end of it.
I don't know. I was just thinking of the
Mission
you reminded me of
accomplished.
the-
And you're like,
the
your mission was to
ostrich.
fuck a chick. Okay.
Aha!
My
Cock
hood
magic
doesn't
episode
fit
was
over my
awesome
head.
too.
I would like to give everyone who
Oh.
might have been inspired by one of us in our onesies, particularly Aka, that if you happen to get a onesie that has a hood, when you're going to the bathroom for the first time in it or any time in it, make sure that once you unzip, you make sure the hood is tucked below everything and
Otherwise
below
you're gonna
the
get a-
toilet bowl. Otherwise,
you're
you're
gonna
going
get
to
a surprise.
sit down and you're
No,
going to
man.
wet your hood.
What was that thing? Was it the Shiwi or whatever? It's like
Just
a
so you
suction
know.
cup that just goes over your
Oh.
cash and prizes. And then you can just like put it through a little hole out of your onesie and you're good. You
Yeah,
won't
but
fuck the onesie, man.
if you have one of these that have the hood must be put in position. I learned this from experience. I am admitting
there we
that
go.
to y'all. I peed in my hoodie once.
Sometimes
It
you just gotta
was
pee in your
horrible.
onesie, you know? I mean,
When the hood
so
That's
starts
life.
this
only-
year,
The question is
This
have you
year I
ever
will
waffle
sew-
stomped anything in your it's just so gross. I'm just kidding.
this year
yeah,
I
wait
will
for it. He just
sew,
abandoned it. I don't want to know.
I couldn't
okay.
finish. I'm sorry, go ahead.
This year, I am planning to sew an orange onesie with a trapdoor, and it's gonna be for my Sam Sidewalker costume. So,
Jesus Christ, I got a trapdoor.
oh my god,
I think this is the year I finally buy my plane ticket to Guatemala.
that was
you say waffle stuff?
Yeah, I said waffle
Yeah.
stomp. I was like, I was trying to like say something funny. Like, have you ever waffle stomped anything in your onesie? But anyone want to know what a waffle
What?
stomping is? Google it.
Yeah. Once again, we're just gonna say random things until you to Google it, and you'll hate us.
so
all
with
for it
the
later.
with the flap
waffle.
one time, my one of the
Excuse
famous
me?
quotes of my grandpa
Excuse me.
was Papa. Yes.
No, what did you? I'm sorry. What did you say?
I said blue waffle.
No, there was something else. Said something with a flap.
Oh, that was
was saying she was
Oh!
sewing the flap into the
Oh, yeah.
onesie, and my
Sounds
Papa
suspicious.
one time. This is a great famous quote in our family. Was Papa yells up at my grandma from the bathroom, "Why'd you sew the flap shut on my jammy or on my bottoms, Ma. And she goes, you put them on backwards. And he's
So
like trying to go to the bathroom, and
we were I got a funny story with that. We were out drinking one night and we wanted to go swimming, and this was in the middle of summer. And there was only like 2 schools around here, or where you can go swimming in the farms and stuff like that,
Does
where they
this
actually
end
have...
up with a candy bar floating in the swimming pool?
No.
So.
This
Okay,
ends
so
up with boxer shorts somehow. So we drove clear across Bakersfield to go to this farm school. It was called what is it called?
I don't know.
I can't. It's the one out there
I'm
off
not
of
from here. You are.
No, it's out there off Enos Lane, but it's really, really far out there.
What's Enos
Rio Bravo.
Lane?
It's called Rio Bravo. I'm sorry. Enos Lane is Highway 43.
Anus Lane.
Anus.
Anus Lane.
They hate us because they ain't us. So I had to go home and pick up my swim trunks, and my buddy Mike was like, "Hey, your swim trunks." When we got in my room and we're hanging out for a second, and there was a couple of us, and I was like, he's all, those are boxers. I was like, oh yeah. My mom, I have boxer shorts that I hate having the fly, so my mom stitched up all the flies that way my junk doesn't fall out in the middle, right there. And he's all, what the fuck? So my swim trunks for a long time were just regular old boxers that had the flies swimmed up. Sewed up.
My ex's son walked out in her Superman onesie once that was obviously meant for women. I'm not sure who was more scarred.
What,
I'm not gonna be living on Anus Lane.
Well, why not? It's
Enos.
just, it's only a half-mile drive from the Hershey Highway.
It is.
She's all, I'm literally at work putting in inventory while I watch.
okay, I saw
You
that.
just hear
and I
the
was
anus thing is an
literally-
anus.
Her job.
For some reason, I was flipping back and forth from screens there, and I saw it as I am literally at work putting in my teeth while I watch. And,
So that's what I do before
and
the
like
show.
seeing you like trying to laugh and like grandma.
So I know we've said this before, but there was this one time
In band camp.
that somebody got crossfaded, and
Somebody, you can say my name. You
you
said it earlier today. Sorry.
That's
I love
okay.
how
He
he
said mine
cracks
last
himself up.
night.
Look, if you can't make yourself laugh, you can't make anybody else
It's one of
laugh.
my favorite things. It really is how he cracks himself up. So
He does it
it's
every
like-
show.
I
It's
know.
fucking awesome.
brilliant.
It's great.
This is around the time that I was working really early in the morning, and
This
I
is-
had to go to bed. And he crossfaded.
I was in there for about 5 hours.
He was, and somehow the water was still hot. So I went in there. It was like 11.
I was completely awake.
No, it was like 10 or 11 when he first went in there
Oh, the shower is so
into
glorious.
the shower. And
This
he
is
was
probably the most-
laying down
The most
in
glorious shower I've ever had.
with the shower running on him. And I go in. Hold on, I'm gonna see if I can get.
By the way, she gets
He
Susan
goes-
on the phone.
He goes.
It was like that. And then I would close the curtain.
And I was like,
Babe, it's been 2 hours. You're still in here? I was like, it's so glorious.
I'm like, I need to go to bed.
And then I literally said to her, I was like, I'm not stopping you from going to bed. I'm staying right here.
Oh, and my favorite is, why didn't you come back in there?
Oh, that was another night.
Yeah. So one night, he happened to crossfade and maybe drink a little bit extra. I think that was the night I made him drink the whiskey.
Oh, no, yeah.
That was the night I made him drink the
Peer
whiskey.
pressure. He's far too sensitive.
We were doing
She
picklebacks
takes
live.
sips of her alcohol.
No,
Doesn't matter what
I
it is.
do shots. It's just
She'll do her shot here and there, but 99% of
it's
the time she's
beers
all,
for some reason.
she's
I
all,
just
"Here."
sip.
have this drink. Here, have this drink. And I was like, we're live. I can't stop. I mean, I can't not have the drink live. I got to keep doing it. And I maintained
I did peanut butter and jelly shots. I did picklebacks.
everything
I did,
went
redheaded sluts.
everything went black after the show. And I literally was like, I just remember going,
I can handle
I
my
can't
shots.
believe- I can't believe you left me in the bathroom like that. A car? It
And
was
when the show faded to black, so did he.
Yeah, he was like in there because I may have overserved him, and I even called Susan, and I'm like,
May
I
have.
think I overserved him. And then you hear, "Huh."
the best part was is
phrases being used
Tiny
here, like
one.
may have, I think.
But the best part was, is I think it was that same night where I ended up underneath the sheets, like the actual
Oh
sheet
my god!
for the bed.
I was like, "What are you doing?" You're like, "Just leave me alone." What are you doing? I'm fine.
Literally,
Why
okay.
are you getting under the fitted sheet?
So right, all of a sudden I'm under the fitted sheet, and I look up, and I
fitted
came to
sheet.
consciousness, and I look at him. I look at Akana. I was like, "Why am I under the fitted sheet? What the hell's going on here?" And she's like, "I've been arguing with you for about an hour over that." I was like, "God, let me just get over here underneath the regular covers. Why am I naked too?" That's exactly what I said to her too.
No. The other one was when he decided to sleep upside down on the bed.
It was
And
comfortable.
This has happened like 2 or 3 times.
It was comfortable.
And I can't get him to put his head where our head goes. The problem is
Where did you
he
get?
has dreams that he ends up kicking. So I did not want to be in the way of the kicking.
We'll
and I
have to go with
could
that
not-
dream some other time.
Get him to flip around.
Look, guys, I do stuff in my sleep. That's why I only sleep with a ka. I get a little
I
rapey.
mean, sorry, Razzles, I guess.
Razzles. There really is a percentage of men, and I actually am part of it. This is actually very 100% true. It's like sleepwalking, but you will have sex.
Sleep banging.
It's you're having sex while asleep, and
Even
it's
when you're by yourself.
yeah. Actually, that's actually true too.
Yeah, I'm being serious. Actually,
You will wake
it's a
up.
medical condition.
You'll wake up with your everything in your hand. You're like, what the fuck is going on here? And once Oddfather got so drunk, he rolled down the hall. I mean, it was a nightmare. I haven't done that yet.
Okay,
I've done other
I-
stuff.
I have to
similar
tell
to
you
it.
guys something fucked up. Okay, couple, I don't know, like 3, 4. I don't know. It was a New Year's Eve a while back. I was at a buddy's house. I'm not really a big poker player, but I was like, fuck it, I'll play Texas Hold'em with you guys. I anteed up all that shit, put some money in, and I was destroying everybody at poker. Like people that had been playing poker for years, and they were just like looking at me like, how the fuck? I'm like, I don't know. I like numbers, and I'm just getting progressively more and more and more drunk. Then Michelle comes to get me and my friend, and we had to take him home and leave his car there because he was not going to drive, and she was already Ubering and making a shit ton of money at the time back when she actually drove people around. So she was making like tons of money, and she takes him back, and then I'm like, fuck, I'm hungry. So we go through the drive-through at McDonald's, and I'm about to throw up. She can tell that I'm just about to just lose it everywhere, and we get up to we've paid now. We've gotten up to get our food, and I'm done. I start just vomiting, but I'm smart. I roll down the window. I stick my head out. Unfortunately, if you don't know, I have complete dentures, by the way. They surf right out of my mouth into the parking lot. I'm still vomiting, and the lady handing us our food is just you know what, like, and she's apologizing to them, and she's like, okay, well, at least you're not puking in the car, which I didn't. I did not puke in the car, and it ended up with me having to get out of the car, get my teeth out of the parking lot, and they handed us a drink. So I just, I think I literally just put my teeth in the cup holder, like of like the drink carrier thing. I just put my teeth in. I'm like, okay, we're good.
Was it like the whole scene from Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas where he's driving around with what's his face's lawyer, and he's just puking and vomiting outside the car window, and like
Yes,
the other
yes.
guy's driving
we were
by.
stopped at a McDonald's drive-through, and people behind us could see it. What was happening? It was that was the last time that I got that, and it was, like I said, it was like I don't know, like 3 years ago, maybe 4, something like that. And
Oh my
even
god,
New
you
Year's
win.
yesterday, I only had like 4 shots. Like it was like in 10 minutes because there was a drinking game that I thought more people were going to play, but it was only 4 of us, and I had like 4 shots in 10 minutes. And I was like, nope, and I didn't. That was the most I drank all year this year. So I never want to puke so much my teeth end up in a McDonald's parking lot again. So I'm kind of I monitor myself.
So when I lived in Tennessee, we used to have poker night every Saturday, and it alternated houses, And there was this one house in particular where it was like, don't bring the kids, you're staying the night, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, our house one time ended up being the you're staying the night and drinking house, where
I noticed you said one time.
yeah, that's because we had the central heating and air, and it was all by the windows for some reason, like right in the floor by the windows. The vents were.
Our family members in Arkansas, their houses were like that. The central heating were near the windows too.
Well,
Yep.
my ex decided to
windows.
stand up
Floor. Yeah.
drunk in the middle, like partially in his sleep, I guess, in the middle of the night. And he walked over to the window and started pissing. and but the thing is, okay, just for the record, we did not have one of those toilets that you pull the string or anything. And he's peeing, and I'm like, what? I got up and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? He's like, I'm going to the bathroom.
Going to the
God.
bathroom, and I got to get up tomorrow and play the Charleston because
And I
this
was
hasn't
like-
existed forever.
I was like, what the fuck? What? Why are you going? I know you're going to the bathroom, but you're not in the bathroom. Why are you in the bathroom? I'm not in the bathroom. You're not in it either. You aren't either. And he reached up, he pulled the blinds open for a full frontal neighborhood view. And then went back to bed.
Yep.
He fucking messaged me while he was still drunk to say that he had McDonald's approved teeth.
I did.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. So yeah, we never did poker at our house anymore.
I bet not.
No.
Good
No.
reasoning.
Huh?
Good reasoning.
Yep. Oh, well, it turns out there was a what?
You sound a little hollow when you're
Oh,
making it.
whatever. It turns out that he had a history of peeing in random places when he was drunk.
That's
Including
every.
I have a history of doing that.
I have a
so-
history. Yeah.
I terrorized
Including
parking lots all
a
over my
laundry
city for
hamper.
years.
including a closet that had a laundry hamper in it. And when he was drunk, he thought the hamper was the toilet, and he walked in there.
The worst is when you're
I peed
drunk
on
and you
someone's
have.
clothes.
I thought you were gonna
The
say
worst
he
is-
sat on. He opened it and
No.
like sat. I was like, oh,
He pissed on the clothes, and apparently, on top of that, both him and his cousin have done that.
The worst is having the potty dreams when you're sleeping and
Oh,
you're
God, those are
drunk
the worst.
and you're all, oh dear God, and you get up, you're like filling around. You're okay, I didn't pee. I gotta go to the bathroom now.
Yeah,
I
I get
was
those
a-
dreams so
I was
honestly.
a sleep peer as a kid. One time I walked into my parents' bedroom. I'm like 4 or 5 years old, and I walk in. I open their closet, turn on the closet door, like the light, the string light in the closet. And my mom wakes up. She's like, "What are you doing?" She's like, according to her, I just told her that I had to go to the bathroom really bad, and before she could get up, I just started peeing in the closet, and I finished, and I turned the light off, and I closed the door, and then I went to the bathroom and washed my hands and went to bed.
Oh God.
I just
That-
pee in the hood of my Batman onesie. I
Yep.
don't know about the rest of you.
Once a week.
Yeah, I
Right.
I went to a party like
I'm
years
kidding.
and years ago, and I went with this total douchebag, and I guess I kind of got him back on accident because I was like, okay, I don't feel good, I gotta go home. And Nadine had said, at least you washed your hands.
Oh yeah, I always wash my hands.
So he's driving me home. He
I've already
refuses to
been.
pull over. I keep telling him I need to throw up, right? And we're in this, like, I want to say it was a Cadillac. And it was a nice one. And I keep telling him, I need you to pull over now. You need to pull over right now. And he was refusing. And he kept being all pissy about it. Well, I puked out the window, and somehow the puke backdrafted on him.
Just went, "Whoop."
It did. It came back in his window.
You deserve that. That's a great story, actually.
He full on deserved it. He was such an asshole. But
If someone tells you and alerts you and is kind enough to say, "Hey, I feel like I'm going to vomit. Can you please pull over? I don't want to vomit in your car and disrespect you." You pull the fuck over because they were nice enough to think about you, despite the fact that they got to vomit badly. So whatever
Right?
happens to you at that point, if you're a dick, you deserve it. Every drop.
oh, I think the worst part about it was that it was a very rare steak that I had just eaten.
Oh.
So it was just bloody
Chunky.
steak everywhere. Super chunk. Mariah says, the drunkest I've ever been. My best friend and I joined a New Year's party that had been going for 6 hours and caught up with everyone else in under 45 minutes. Best friend Bobby got so drunk that he got his hands and knees
On.
in dress pants. Oh, got on his hands and knees in dress pants shirt and tie, and chased a chihuahua around the house, barking like a dog and running into walls before knocking himself out. I was so drunk, I just laughed and made sure he was still breathing before I fell over on him and couldn't get up.
Yeah, she's got some great stories like that, but she's also got a lot of great ones about me in particular. Drunken Times, because the old podcast I keep talking about all the time that I used to do like a long time ago, she was one of the co-hosts on, and I did this thing called Drunk Fantasy History, where I would take like famous moments in like fantasy writing, and I would retell them drunk, and it came down to the Battle of Helm's Deep and Lord of the Rings was all about who had the coolest hat. Literally an hour of me going on and rambling drunk about hats and dwarf tossing. That was the whole episode.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I really wish I didn't spill the water on our soundboard that one night because
I think we were going into dwarf tossing.
Well, no, I'm just saying like I have this ability
the
to
sun,
ramble
right?
on about a story.
He does. It's quite.
Yeah.
But it usually involves butt sex, and he was trying to
Yeah.
censor himself.
Well, yeah, Piper was here that night, so I couldn't couldn't say everything I wanted to say.
My tea bag broke open.
You mean my tea bag?
I hope not.
Oh, blood everywhere, blood!
Blood all over the soundboard.
Oh, he spilled another drink today.
Yeah, I heard.
It wasn't on the soundboard.
That's the important thing. It wasn't on the sound.
It was on all my candles.
I started looking at soundboard things, but they're like, I don't know where I'm gonna like mount it.
You're looking at
Yeah.
recording soundboards, dude. That's not at all.
No,
This
you-
one
I'll
is
show
like,
you.
No,
Well,
this
I
one's
put, like,
about
Listen, the thing is,
inches.
they're not actually soundboards.
12
What
inches.
they
That's what I thought.
technically are external sound cards. That's
Yeah,
how
I'm sorry. They're
actually
called
classified,
sound
yeah.
cards.
Yeah, but I mean, if you've been around music long enough, you just call them soundboards. It's basically what they are. They're just miniature.
They're
Well,
starting
yeah,
to come
not
up
all of them
as
are big, but
They
they
have-
have,
they
they
do
have a
card.
bunch of
Mine's
different-
literally only this big. Like that's it.
Yeah, I
Mine's
was looking
tiny.
at podcast ones. So and with the
Get
sounds,
the,
check out
the one that-
videos for 'em,
the one
but
that
I never
Susan
did my
got.
one small.
You want to get the one that Susan got? Is the Mayono caster? That's the one we have, and it works amazing. So
we need
Yep.
to do these group made up stories and make short stories out of them.
we should.
I don't think you can make short. Well, I mean, you can't post them on you can't post them on social media.
Why not?
If Frank
Reddit.
tells them.
Reddit,
With how much
Put 'em on
butt
Reddit.
sex is on social media, I think I can get away with it.
dude. I sent you the story
But
about.
we
the guy
can't
that,
make
that loved the
videos of
pumpkin
it. Is
too
what I
much.
mean.
The
You know
what?
that story? The story about the guy that
Wait.
loved the pumpkin too much.
We'll
Vaguely.
leave it at that.
The pumpkin fucker is what it was called, basically.
Oh,
That
okay,
was
okay, I
on-
remember.
That was on Reddit, so I think we're good with posting
Well,
those
okay,
things
fine.
on
We do
Reddit.
that on Reddit.
Yeah.
But
That's the wild west of the internet over there, man.
yeah.
We just talk about butt sex and we'll get away with it.
Yeah.
Not
So I'm glad.
So
Oh.
In the butt.
I was just gonna say I'm glad that people have joined us. Everyone seems to have made it through the holidays. And
yes.
sorry, we were gonna try to show up and be there to like hang out with those of y'all who didn't have anybody to hang out with, but things are just kind of like scattered and we didn't organize it early enough. But
Yeah. I ended up
it's
getting
hard.
kind of
to do stuff on
called into
holidays.
work, but not really. It was the last minute. The boss was like, "Hey, we're going to do something for New Year's Eve, and you guys should come." And what happened is he left at 10 o'clock. He was gone by 10. He didn't even stay till midnight. Sorry, 11. He was there till almost 11, and most of the adults left. And then I was one of the few adults left, and there's kids there too. And I'm like, "Fuck, I do not want to be an adult today." And most of the adults ended up drinking a little bit. One in particular got way too wasted, and it was that was interesting. And then we just smoked a lot of herb, and we played hide and seek in the haunt for like almost 3 hours. It was gorgeous.
That's awesome.
We made wassail last night and
We made lamb's wool wassail.
lamb's wool wassail, which is actually really good. It was just
But
a lot
did-
of applesauce.
But did you go a wassailing?
mainly apples.
Nope.
No, it was.
I love
It
that
was-
on your Facebook page. What is wassail? I don't know if any of you guys read Discworld, but Nanny Og makes scumble, which is mainly apples.
Yeah. So I make wassail, but I usually do it like kind of the cheater way, with like apple cider, cranberry juice. I squeeze 3 oranges. I
Look-
put an orange in there with the cloves. I throw cinnamon, like whole cinnamon, whole anise, whole allspice, a little bit of juniper berries, and then that's how it goes.
This is when you
And-
need
oh, yeah, and some sugar.
Sure.
You bring up the last
Right.
comment.
But Hexus never answered me as to how the lamb felt about it.
The lamb said it was bad. It was bad. Texas, no. No.
You just reminded me of coming up
And then
next
10 minutes
season, by the
later,
way, we will have
Daddy.
some new stars. My mother got for
Yay!
Christmas. The
Finger
finger
goats.
goats. Oh, we're gonna have
If
so
you've
much
ever wanted
fun.
to finger your goat, now's the time.
Yeah. You don't want to finger a goat too much.
I just
Not too much.
Shit out of
Like
you.
just a little.
Video.
Yeah. The last time Frankers fingered a goat, he got kicked right in the face. It was hilarious.
Well, it wasn't so much kicked. It was more along the lines of child support, but I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah. Well, I was being polite.
I also got a murder of crows, and y'all are gonna have to help me figure out what to do with them.
Oh, I will.
Near dear.
I got
Poor
this.
little crows here, and
We're already on
I've been-
wires. We got this.
we're gonna have fun.
Mhm.
Fun
Near dear.
next season.
What we need to do
All
is get
because
you
of
the,
my mother was like, you need to
Ooh,
have
ooh,
goats
ooh.
and crows in your life.
You know what you need
More
to
of them.
do?
What about boats and
Is
hoes?
That's
get
what I
a-
was looking. I got a
headband,
bunch of those.
and then like
Mhm.
put them all over it, so it's like flying over your head.
Yeah, I
you
actually
need
I have
magician
a
string.
thing set aside with-
basically extremely thin fishing line, basically, but it's way stronger and like you can. Like,
You know
I've
what?
seen it be like a couple hundred pounds
No!
worth of an object, like look like it's levitating just from magician string. It's crazy shit.
Yeah, I actually picked out and bookmarked so I could talk with you and Susan about like the best headband options to with twigs and things on them to attach the crows to.
If you want the best headband options,
with the
The
twigs and
best
stuff.
head.
No, leave right there. There we go. So what you want to do, you want to go
You
watch,
want the best head.
you want the best
band
head,
options.
right? You got to go watch Midsummer first, and then you go from there, right? Then you put yourself in a bear, right? Okay, you're listening here. Okay, you got to put yourself in a bear. Okay,
Okay.
have everything set on fire around you,
Okay.
and that's I'd,
Call me the squirrel.
I'd fuck me.
It's time to
I'd fuck me
rise
so
and take
hard
your squirrel to the bagel shop.
in a bear suit.
Right? Get the cream cheese. The creamy cheese.
I thought you said in a
I don't-
bear.
Cream cheese. And some coffee.
Yeah, you want to
Not a bear suit.
I can't do
I
this
want to be in
anymore.
a bear. Like the thing on Star Wars. I forgot what it's called. Just cut open
Wookiee?
a bear. No.
You wanna cut
the
open a
thing where
Wookiee?
Luke cuts open his mount and crawls inside of it.
oh, the
The stinky
A
beast.
Bantha.
I forgot what it's called.
Bantha.
Raz just
Well, I want
said
to
it.
be in a Bertha.
It's Bantha.
What?
So
The Bantha. Yeah. You know what we should do? We should combine Star Wars and
I
Midsummer.
always wanted a boyfriend in a
Yeah,
bear
I can do
suit.
that.
We should honestly really do that. We should combine Star Wars and,
Tauntaun.
Oh, you're right. It
and,
was
and
the
Midsummer.
Tauntaun. Yeah, it was the Tauntaun. my bad.
Tauntaun.
I thought the Tauntauns were the big. What are those things?
That's AT-ATs.
That's it.
Slippy!
Tauntaun. Tauntaun. Slippy.
Slipping right into the conversation. All right.
Slippy
I got some
Ray.
ice cream. How you doing?
Slippies. I want some of your ice cream slippies.
Bantha's the monster that kidnaps her.
Yes.
Yep.
That was the rapey monster.
I have a bear suit.
I'm turning into a
Ooh.
bear suit if you see the beard and everything coming up.
You're not turning into a bear, though. That's good.
Rawr.
Snake. I'm a snake.
Almost slippery
I'm a
snot.
slippery snake. I'm a snaky snake. I'm a
I lost it.
I
I'm
don't
a
know why,
slippery
but this
snake.
reminds
What
me
is
of a
it?
comedy skit that I wrote years ago that my band recorded and like hid on the album as like a comedy track between songs. It was called Bible Action Figures, and it sounds like an infomercial, like this crazy like '80s like toy commercial meets an infomercial. And there's this one part that I wrote where I'm just like, and if you press, wait, why carry your cross through the desert when you can ride it? That's right. If you press this button right here, that crucifix turns into a dinosaur.
Have you seen
Oh,
the Transforming Christ?
I have.
God.
I
Yes.
I want it.
It's hilarious.
He gets armor and everything. It's him on the cross. The cross
yeah.
transforms into armor around him, and it's fucking
That's-
awesome.
Slippy,
Larry the
sometimes
Leopard,
we are
coming
and
soon,
sometimes
purple
we're not.
separately.
We were talking about Star Wars, Midsummer, and
Crows.
We haven't gotten.
Crows.
We haven't gotten into Star Wars
and
yet.
fingering goats.
We have talked about fingering goats.
Revenge of the shit.
Revenge of the No, the Star Wars is actually.
What if?
There really
what
is a Star Wars.
What if
porno.
you fingered goats at the Finger Lakes?
Hey!
At the Finger what?
Hey!
The Finger Lakes.
Happy
It's
Fair.
a term. Finger Lakes.
What's the finger? What is
It's
Finger
an area.
Finger Lakes again?
You don't know what the Finger Lakes are?
No, I actually am I'm having a blonde moment here.
Oh,
I
okay.
have no idea what the
Okay,
fuck you're talking
New
about,
York.
Raz.
The Finger Lakes region is in New York.
Finger Lakes, not licks.
Lakes.
Oh, it's-
Lakes.
Lakes,
The Finger Lakes.
Not licks.
Finger licks.
It's not like
Lakes.
Lakes.
It's in water.
Bodies
Swimming?
of water.
The Finger Lakes. What happens if you finger the goats in the Finger Lakes? Do you
I don't know.
Do you at
We
least
should
get
find
an
out.
achievement?
Does it turn into Lake
It would be
Titicaca?
wet.
Yeah, it could. It totally could.
It turns into Lake Titicaca.
You
That's what
unlock a
happens.
certain attachment for your gun in Modern Warfare if you finger a goat at the Finger Lakes.
They are.
The Finger Lakes are in New York.
The achievement is called Finger Looking Good.
I'm sad. I don't have my hairbrush.
I'm not a fan of goat to begin with. I mean, I like goats
Yeah, my
as
hair's gonna
pets,
go right
but
back up
not
in
to
a
eat. They're
second here.
gross.
As pets.
Yeah, I found out.
Superpowers. At least that's what happened to me.
You do get superpowers. You just don't.
Yeah, no,
anyway,
it's going right back up. I have a fan facing me. I am burning up tonight.
I'm Hexus tonight. Nice to meet you, burning up.
I have a mild fever actually, so that's fun.
Wait till it becomes a muy
Oh, boy.
picante fever.
Hey, we have somebody trying to get us some more
Hello.
followers. You know,
Oh,
Would you
hey.
like to
Promotion,
have? Oh, you got to
Wolfman.
go over to Twitch to block that.
Wolfman
it's fine.
over
We'll
here.
take care of it in a little bit.
Hey, their price. I just want to point this out. Their price is lower than any competitor. In case
Who's?
no one knows this.
Wolfman Jack.
Yeah, no, don't dishonor the name of Wolfman Jack. That's sacrilegious.
I'm sorry, we were talking about Wolfman way long ago, so
Mute it.
you missed your
Whoa,
moment.
whoa. Okay. There we go.
If he would have popped in when we were talking about like werewolves and stuff, I would have left it up there because that would have just been hilarious.
How do
Yeah.
I do this?
I'll do it in a second.
Step
I lost
one,
my brush.
believe in yourself.
Hexus and I had this really nice bonding moment because we have the same hairbrush.
Oh,
And,
that's right. Yeah, we became sisters.
Yeah, we had
We
all
did.
the girly talk going, and then Aka came out and she has the same hairbrush too. So
Yes, I do.
Razzle,
I love my gold hairbrush. You do it. You do
My,
it.
my
I don't know
bro.
what kind of hairbrush we have. Just one that's in there that I use sometimes.
Mom got me one for Christmas, and it's called Wet. Is just the name of
I
the
love wet
brand, I guess.
brushes.
And
God.
this stuff, when I go to sleep at night, it rubs together and it turns to, I call it a carpet, because like you can't, because most people when you have short hair, it just, you give it a comb and it comes out. But when you have to brush 3 feet of tangles all the way out of your hair, you end up ripping it out. But I
That's
got
why you're
this-
supposed to start at the bottom.
well, I do, but you still have to get it all the way through the whole thing. And I tried this brush, and they're totally not sponsoring us or anything, but it made it through my goddamn hair and got the
It
carpet out
does.
without pulling out my hair. I was amazed. Because I see a brush and I laugh. I'm like, ha ha ha, you shall be conquered.
Wait. You shaved your head?
No, he says shave the head.
I shaved the head. So.
Sadly, I can't bond on. Oh,
Yeah, he shaved his head.
shaved his head.
I feel
Well-
you. Mine's still in the process of growing back.
I just tied my hair up in a knot in a bun.
I chopped 4 inches
Man
off my
bun.
hair. And
Well,
I
on
really
the-
should not have.
I don't do it on top. I do it in the back. But
He does do it in the back.
Yeah, real hard.
Mariah's got me.
What?
Just
Yeah,
like
mine's
your
usually
local,
curly. I have it all brushed out right now.
just like your local thrift store. Frankers
Yep.
accept
If I s-
donations in the rear.
Yep.
If I sleep on wet hair, it turns out curly, and then I brush it, and it goes poof.
There is a
So
gay
Yeah, I have to keep it
thrift
very.
store in Hollywood near Brea, the La Brea.
not Brea, La
No.
Brea tar pits.
Yeah, and it really does say parking in the rear. I am not
Yeah.
kidding on
Are you
that.
no, there's also
We've got one downtown that says donations accepted in the rear.
It's great. And the owners are so fucking hilarious and nice people, man. I purposely went in there. I was like, we're doing this.
I took him to. I mean, I'm sure he'd been there before, but there's a place called the Pleasure Chest.
Oh yeah, I've been there.
It's in Hollywood. It's
I'm a-
just it's a sex shop. In
I'm
Hollywood.
a pornographic connoisseur.
And I love that place because like they even have like the bondage bed frames, the full on awesome bondage
Yeah.
bed frames there.
It's
that-
one of those.
You could like attach swings to, and they're super
What's that-
heavy metal.
What's that bed you
Frame.
want? The captain's bed or the one with the drawers and everything underneath?
Oh God, I want.
What's
one
it
of
called? No,
those.
it's,
I think it's a captain's bed.
It's yeah, but it's like one of those beds, but it transforms into like this bondage cave.
Have you seen the
awesome.
Have you seen the meme going around with the guy that has like a 12-pack of cans ring around his hand and then over the bedpost, and it's like when you're poor as fuck but kinky as
Yeah,
hell.
you're still
Yeah.
kinky.
You got to
I'm thinking about
improvise.
I'm thinking about that bed now. 'Cause the way he described it as a bondage cave. What if you turn it into like a one-man escape room?
Ooh.
That-
One man escape.
I don't
Misery.
No, I mean, okay, if it was like Misery, I could see the one man escape room, but I don't want to escape from bondage
But
if it's
yeah,
a
I can
guy.
bond on bondage. I love that.
She's you're like being the dom and all this other stuff, and I would purposely be a douchey brat. I'm sorry. I'm like, punish me. I don't care.
No, because if a smart dom has you, they'll be like, sit there. And then they'll read.
I'm a
book or
big enough guy to
something.
all get bored, and I can seriously just break out and be like, all right, I'm done. See you later.
Pleasure Chest actually does have the parking and rear signs and stuff like that.
Nice.
You know,
The pleasure chest I went to was the one in Hollywood.
that's the only one there is.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't think you took me there. I've been there several
I
times.
went
prior
there
to that.
once with you. Once.
Maybe.
Once. You did go.
Let him go through all the porn shop experiences in his head and try to find it.
There's a lot. Well, okay, I'm one of
3
those
months later.
porn connoisseurs that like I actually
We have a
really
porn inheritance.
I do. I have actually the old school
No joke.
no
What about
my
this?
my dad I got
Yeah, we
those
did.
I have the old school what are they called? The trucker mags, the erotica mags.
Yeah.
That are there's like only one or two pictures in there, but it's actually written out, and it's actually they're fucking neat as shit. They're like from the 60s and 70s. They're super cool. Texas sound like me at Chuck E. Cheese after eating a wet pickle but nacho cheese. What?
A wet pickle butt with nacho cheese. With Chuck E. Cheese. What?
Wait, here we go.
Your
Now
Chuck
let's say
E.
it
Cheese is
again.
much different than ours.
Let me
Yeah.
just read this here real fast. Okay. Texas sound like me at Chuck E. Cheese after eating a wet pickle but nacho cheese.
Oh. And we've
Oh.
gone back to the 70s. Michigan. We
All
have.
right.
I don't. Okay, look.
Okay, I have to ask: are people wearing Merkins or something? Because like
Bust out that
mine don't
weed
get
whacker,
that
boys.
mushy.
90% of the chicks who do in like regular movies where they do show off the bush, it is a merkin.
It has
It's
to be a merkin.
their panties they put on that looks like
It totally has to be a Merkin because
Yep.
people don't get that poopy. I mean, some do, I'm sure.
the first time
But,
Selma
like-
Hayek ever did a scene was in Desperado, and dear God, I remember being a kid. I think I was in junior high when I first saw Desperado, and I was like, "Oh my!" I already knew who Selma Hayek was a little bit before that,
So-
but then seeing that movie and seeing Selma Hayek naked, I was like, "Hi!" I love
Gonna need a
Desperado, and I
machete 'cause
watched it
I'm
over and over
going
again.
in.
yeah, autocorrect is awesome.
Great.
It makes things awesome. Medieval
My-
Bush.
my-
Christine, yes.
My mother has us setting aside all of these screenshots whenever her phone totally fucks up because she does a lot of speech to text, and she wants them on a board at her celebration of life. Just all of her phone fucks. So, which the best one we have so far is when she was, and she's making this tomorrow actually. She's making beef bourguignon, and she makes homemade
Ooh.
bread sometimes. And so she's
Yum.
like texting to my sister, "Hey, I'm making beef bourguignon." Or she's saying that, but it came out, "Hey, I'm making some beef abortion tonight. Do you want some thick French bread to soak up all the juice with?"
She was so she's like trying to beef bowl or what's it called again? Oof.
Beef bourguignon, which is a
When it came out, abortion.
burgundy beef stew. Yeah, so she's
Yeah.
offering fresh French bread with the
Slip
crust
your
to soak
iron
up all the
water
juice.
in
we
my
can-
foot.
Oh, Slippy, what was Slippy for hire to water anyone's bush?
Yes.
I
No,
look.
no, you can't hire him because he'll use fertilizer.
Yeah.
Dear autocorrect. It's never duck. Sincerely, everyone.
I
It was going back on the whole porno connoisseur thing. Like, I really, when it comes out, like the actual old school
I'm gonna
movies and stuff like that,
circle back around here.
like with Behind the Green Door, The Devil and Mrs. Jones.
Okay, the Behind the Green Door is really
They're-
cool, actually.
I actually like. Well, no, these guys were actual filmmakers, and they were just like, we're really into sex, and we're trying to actually make film with sex, and it was really avant-garde and stuff like that, and like
It's not just
film noir and stuff like that. It was so
straight up
fucking
cell
cool.
phone in the butthole the whole time while you see balls flap around.
Look, if I'm gonna
okay.
I actually
if I'm
have
gonna watch real
I know a fun
porn,
fact about like vintage stuff that I wonder if you know, man.
Hmm.
So back then, you used to be able to tell the age of the actress if if you were worried, not sure. They would just cut half the bush off and count the rings.
you just count the rings. See, back in the day, how we used to do stuff when I first came to this plane of existence, we just cut one of their legs off and count the rings.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
you
It
know
meant just make things more difficult.
You just found a new hole basically to mess with. It's so gross. I'm sorry.
I've been compared to books and
Squishy.
stuff before. Like people are like, oh my god, this book really reminded me of you, or like
What?
a movie, like, oh, I really think you like this. And then one time somebody was like, okay, so I watched The Devil and Miss Jones, and it really made me think of you. And I was just like, the fuck is
Wait,
wrong with
You're
you?
what?
Are you the
Have-
devil or Miss Jones in that analogy? Because
I
Have you
don't
seen
know
it?
because I have.
Has
no,
anybody
I
here
sta-
besides?
I started
it.
watching it, and then I was just like
I know what we watched.
You know
really
what?
offended that was what they thought of me, and so I went
It,
away.
actually, thinking about it,
They're all-
if you know
it's
the
behind,
plot of it,
Behind the Green Door really reminded me of you.
okay, Behind the Green Door is more of a compliment than Miss Devil and Mrs. Jones, because the premise behind Devil Mrs. and Mrs. Jones is she committed suicide and she was a virgin, and then she goes to hell or she's in purgatory and she can't. They don't understand why she did it, and then she gets an extension to basically go and sin and stuff like that, and it's kind of a neat concept. Like that's what was-
I appreciated the
concept,
concept,
but-
and then I started watching it, and then I was like, no, don't need to sit around and think about that person watching this thinking about me. You know what I mean? It's-
Sounds better than
It was
that
fun.
person's all
Door.
Delphine. Wait. Let me get the deep voice here. I got to do it. Hold on a second. Hold on. Delphine.
You kind of remind me of someone who would commit suicide and then have to go to purgatory and sin just to feel it. I'm thinking about you right now.
it could have been worse.
Basically,
The
yeah,
conversation
yeah.
could have been
I'm
like,
kidding, I'm
I was watching Caligula the other day, and I really thought about
That's
it.
a fucking good one
Oh,
too.
I need to
This is a
see
good
that
movie, but-
so bad.
Wait. Here
Did
you
you
go.
watch the Triple X version? Did you watch? I mean, both of them
Both.
are
Both.
one's X and one's Triple X, but
Wait.
Yeah.
I had one that was super artsy, but I can't remember the name. It was a weird name. The director only did 3, but they were super cool.
I bet you, Susan. I bet you I've seen it because when I say
bet
that
you've
I've
seen it too.
no, I actually really like those movies because
Boring.
some of the movies, some of them are the acting quality is far better than the movies that come out right now. Like no joke, they actually
Okay,
do
so-
try.
Behind the Green Door.
Let's talk about porn right now.
Yeah, why not?
Behind the Green Door is fucking rad.
It is rad.
Franken
It's
penis.
interesting because the whole concept is not concept. They told her, "Hey, we're gonna grab you from a place."
No, she was okay. She was hired.
She was aware.
She's
but
aware
they
what was going
grabbed her.
on.
They kidnapped
She
her.
goes. They basically at the start of it, they buy her a nice dinner and she's hanging out and whatever. And then all of a sudden, she's walking down a certain alleyway and she's abducted, quote unquote. But she's not. She knows what's going on and she can't.
She was
she-
told it was gonna happen, but
She basically is
Not exactly
told
the time
that you're going to be pleasured, but they're not going to tell you how it's going to happen. And that's the whole concept. And that's I want to say with it was what's her face, Seika. I think that's her first movie. Is it Seika or I can't think of her name. But that's I think that's what they did with the
sounds like
actress
all my
too.
dates in Nebraska.
No, that's actually what they did with the actress too. They basically just took her there and like, you're gonna find out what's happening. You're basically just agreeing to having sex with a whole bunch of people, but they're gonna do in
The thing that was
Weird ways.
interesting to me was looking out into the crowd of the people watching.
one of the first movies that had BBWs in there. No joke. Big Beautiful Woman. No,
Yeah.
It really was, and they didn't shy away from like the other pornos did.
It was interesting for me to see the people with the masks on and some of them with painted up faces. And It was just people that were there for the erotica to watch and all that
I-
stuff.
Can't think of their name, but there's two brothers who made the movies. Charlie Sheen and Emilio Estevez played them.
Emilio!
I knew you were
I
gonna
can't
do
think of their but yeah, Emilio. But yeah, they played him
It had gold angels and devils.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I don't know the name, Susan. The
Okay,
70s
so-
hat don't look porn up on this computer. Do it on your phone.
So what about the one that took place in the Asian restaurant that had the health inspectors sneaking around trying to figure out what was going on? And he thought, based on all of the people walking out, that they were killing cats because everybody
Jesus
kept
Christ.
talking about the pussy that was so good that they ate there. Have you seen that one, Frank?
I have not, but you made me laugh. I was gonna say there's another one that I can't say the name out loud to, but it involves an Asian babysitter, but the name they called the movie is actually derogatory now.
I
So
really hope that the volume is.
Oh, this was not very PC at all.
that is another thing I do like about pornos is how not PC. I mean, if you're into free speech, like I am, and a lot of us in the horror community are, horror movies and pornos go hand in hand because of the free speech aspect of it. Yeah, and there are some of the best
Yeah,
B horror movies were also triple X movies. You know, because they had
Yep.
some of the coolest stuff going on there.
I mean, 70s and 80s. Hi, Mom.
Whereas mom says hi, and she said she's upset to know we're talking about porn.
I
It was
think a
from the
lot
80s
of
or 90s, not old.
slasher
Okay.
films were actually born in a lot of ways out of a union between porn and the horror industry, in
Oh,
a number
yeah.
of ways. I mean, and that went on to the 80s, the 90s. One of the
Well-
biggest ones that came out of it was the Slumber Party Massacre, which just got a
Oh,
remake here
One
recently.
of my favorites.
Yeah, and it's
The
so
original
well
was one of my
done.
favorites.
Oh yeah, and I haven't gotten to see the new one yet, but I really want to see it because the story is actually pretty fantastic. I mean, it's basic for a slasher film, but it
Demon
was
Knight,
well
too,
done.
Is it Demon Knight? No, Demon Knight was Tales from the Crypt. What's the
Yeah.
other one? That was a remake. It was Demons or Demons,
Yeah, it was Demons.
and then they remade it with what's her face from the American Pie series. I can't think of her name, but
No.
those ones were basically like pornos and stuff like that in the
Oh,
80s.
no, wait,
They were just
it wasn't Demons. Demons was the Lamberto Bava's oh my god, it was Italian horror. Demons was. It was part of the Hill House movie things that were going on. I know the main bad Angela. Not
bring
Sleepaway
up
Camp, but the other Angela.
Natalie's
What? That's why I like
Night of the
Italian
Demons.
horror. It's
Night
very
of the
adult.
Demons.
Yes.
Night of the Demons. Yeah, that one's
Yeah,
good.
yeah. The
That one's
remake was
actually really
fantastic.
good.
Yep, I've seen all
Um,
those. The remake was great.
The remake was amazing.
Hmm.
And there's another remake of actually not to squirrel off here in a second, but Fright Night. I actually loved the remake with Colin Farrell. I thought it was really really
actually,
good.
pretty
I did too. I didn't like though that they didn't have a horror host.
We don't have a
character.
subject night.
They
That
went
was
with a
great.
Chris
know,
Angel
it-
character.
You just had
But
to
the
show
cool thing
up.
about it was that Dave Tennant from Doctor Who played that character, so I
Yeah.
liked it because of that.
No, he did. It
I
was
love
cool.
that he's back. By the way,
Yeah.
just saying.
Oh, have you seen how he came back?
No, I haven't.
When he
been
came
able to
back,
watch it
he's
yet.
like, because every doctor knows it's when it's their time to go, and he comes back and he's like, "What?" He basically just says, "What the hell?"
I mean, you're
Because he
ruining
knows
for me.
he's supposed to be.
I haven't
done.
seen it yet. I'm behind by like half a season.
You better
You're killing me.
spoil it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I just said
You'll
no. I
have to
hadn't
watch
seen it. And you
David
continue
Tennant
to say it.
ones.
Yeah, I mean, I knew it was happening because we've all known it was going to happen for quite some time. It's
Hey,
just
Pogo.
interim, and it's temporary because we know who the next Doctor is going to be. It was just this thing that they're doing right now.
Is it temporary? There's no way they're gonna make that
Dude,
temporary.
it's only for a couple episodes. We already know who the next Doctor is. He was hired long before they decided this. That's because
No, I get that, but I don't. I bet you it's gonna spawn off onto a separate timeline
no.
and stuff.
No.
I bet you it does. I
But
know
they're
it
not
can't.
gonna keep. They can't. That
You have to
it's
understand
literally
that
like
there are
the-
separate timelines going on right now in audio form. It's always been the case with Doctor Who. Everything continues in audio only. So you get all these stories, like a lot of the doctors come back and like voice the Doctor again for other adventures that are going on. So it's like this really cyclical thing that happens. I don't know why it's just an audio, but it's something the BBC's always done. But for as far as this goes, It's an anniversary, so they
It's
always
just
bring
something
back a lot of
because he's the
doctors. And,
favorite.
yeah,
I just-
he's the only doctor to ever like outperform Baker.
Mhm.
The Baker, Tom Baker, the one with the scarf, not Colin.
Yeah.
Which one was Tom Baker? How long ago was that?
That was
I-
original run. That was towards the very
Okay.
end of the original run before it like disappeared for over like a couple decades. But it was the one that had
was
the
it
scarf.
only like disappeared for like 10 years, wasn't it?
Ooh,
No,
Or was
my
it-
friend.
it was a
It was
No.
on
long.
for a while.
Yeah, it was a couple decades.
That is one thing. I mean, because it basically inspired. Obviously, everything Rick and Morty is basically it's based off. That is the source material right there.
I bet.
Is
yeah.
I mean, even their music is somewhat.
oh, it is. It very much is. I mean,
Doctor Who.
I mean, the source
It's
material for Rick and
Whovian.
Morty is crap. What were we just talking about right now? I can't even think of the name of it.
Doctor Who.
Doctor Who. It's Doctor
like-
Who, and obviously Back to the Future. But then
right,
they
right.
added
'cause
everything else.
Rick is
together.
obviously an alcoholic Doc Brown. I mean, obviously.
Oh yeah. Well, after what they came out with the last season, and I know because if you watched anything of it, they
I-
finally have stated
season
that.
4.
Well, they've stated in season 6 that is okay. Rick is C-137, but Morty is Morty
Stop it.
Prime.
Well, I mean, there were already
hasn't
hints of it. I
seen
kind of
it.
figured that though because there were some hints. If you really pay attention, like a lot of these things they reveal, they put a lot of little hints in other episodes.
Oh,
Mhm.
definitely.
So
but
I kind of figured that was probably going to end up being the case.
Well, they finally said it though. They finally said, "Hey, the Earth that they left when they went Cronenberg was actually Earth Prime for them. It's the main Earth."
Yes.
And Morty really is the most Morty of Mortys because
Wait,
his
what
Rick is the
season was
most Rick.
that? 'Cause I did see that episode. Maybe I'm farther along than I thought.
Well, they finally explained Rick's story with episode 1 of season 6. That
Okay.
actually it's actually really sad because he's actually hunting Rick Prime.
Okay,
And-
no, I think I have seen up to that. Then I do that all the time. I think I haven't seen as far as I have. Then I'll go and start on the episode I think I'm on, and then realize I've seen the next like season or two. I do this
Yeah.
all with shows all the time.
Well, the reason why too he
Okay.
glommed on so much to this Morty to this family is because of how his Rick killed his family, and now he went there to hunt him, but then he actually got attached to them because he never had a family. It's one of the sad. Rick and Morty is very much an existential crisis the entire time. It's funny, but there's some really sad moments in there.
oh, like the Unity episode.
Oh
Oh,
my
dude,
God.
I've
that's
never
a
seen it.
Really?
At all.
you
Oh,
need
I
to
love
watch
it.
it.
It's
Rick and Morty is amazing.
I only have so much allotted time between reading shitty fanfic and trying to write and read and review other people's books and do stuff and then watch my shows, and it
It was-
hasn't fallen into the top 20 for me yet.
I honestly recommend it. It was one of those things that I hadn't really watched until he and I got together.
And I was already
Now
watching.
we watch it all the time.
I was watching the first 3 when we got together. It was only 3 seasons. I was watching them over and over again
Oh, yeah.
because that's how much I fucking love it.
I can
Mhm.
tell you that the first, like right off the rip, watching this show, you are immediately introduced to the fact that this is half a horror show.
Yeah.
Because of all the horror, not just Cronenberg, but like early on in the beginning.
Oh, the
immediately, right off the
Lovecraftian
rip,
aspect of everything.
Nightmare on
Yeah.
Elm Street, Needful Things,
Yep.
right off the bat.
Yeah.
Oh, and they had those episodes right there.
Mm-hmm. And the thing that's interesting, I guess, I will, since we have spoiler alert down there, there's suggestions that some of the Ricks have cloned the daughter,
Well, they
and they
explain.
suggest that Beth was and her mom at some point were cloned, and he left.
Yeah.
So all Jurassic Parking it.
it's
Oh, that's
it's
actually an
weird.
episode. There's a
It's
Jurassic
something
Park
that you
episode.
have to
Mhm.
you have to watch. Okay, the
Unless we have
last 2
spoilers.
episodes. Watch the last 2 episodes of season 5. It'll explain how they treat the universes. That there's actually because there is a multiverse of Ricks, but they've managed. It's called the curve.
The finite curve.
The finite curve, where they're within their own multiverse. So there are other multiverses out there where Rick and Morty don't even exist.
They do try to break the finite curve. At
Yeah,
one
well,
point,
Morty
but
does. The evil Morty does.
it was trying to be not
It's
as
fine.
spoiler alert. But no, it's not. You say it's fine, but you're not the people listening to the spoilers.
I mean, we're
It sucks when you listen to the spoilers.
I had to leave Tumblr because I was a fan of Sons of Anarchy back in the day, which crosses over
missed that
with
show.
the Doctor Whovian fandom, which crosses
Mhm.
over with the Supernatural fandom, which and so like you could not watch a show unless you were watching 15 of them at the exact same time,
Right.
unless you wanted to know every single thing that was going on.
I have not.
It's like saying, look, if you're into people who are obviously into Shakespeare are going to love these shows, and Sons of Anarchy especially, because it's all what's his face?
I cried.
Hamlet.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I absolutely cried.
Oh, bawled my
movie.
fucking eyes out and almost puked. Let's not talk about that episode right now because I'll start again.
I actually stopped watching it for a while because of it.
Yeah, but have you watched Bates Motel when
Oh,
Ryan Hurst comes into it? His
Oh,
fucking
man.
character is
I
amazing. The
love
last two
Ryan
seasons with
Hurst.
Ryan Hurst is great.
Mm.
I love Bates Motel. I will watch that. That's a series I'll watch over and over again too.
We saw when he came in as Beta for Walking Dead, and his family they all like
I'm gonna grab a beer real fast so you can tell the story.
they all really like The Walking
Beer
Dead.
week.
They all got into it and everything like that. And when he came in as Beta, now mind you, in the comics, Abraham Ford doesn't go as far as he did. Okay,
No.
so when they kill him off, he was already dead
Mm.
in the comics. He wasn't as big of a character as he was in the show, but people liked him, so they kept him. I loved him. He was one of my favorites. And
that show was ruined by halfway through season 1 as far as it being anywhere near as good as the comic book was.
oh,
There's
definitely,
too many
but
major things.
there were aspects of it, like I stopped watching it when they killed off Abraham. And well, Glenn, you know that.
This has happened for long enough now, years ago, that I will say I stopped watching it when the Carl thing happened because it completely ruins the entire end of anything they could possibly do. So
Yeah.
I'm actually just now a couple days ago started. I was like, it's over now. I might as well go ahead. So I think they're almost to the prison where I'm at whenever I restarted it now. So.
Okay. But
And that
so
makes me the angriest because the governor was such a bastard in the comics. He was such a fantastic bad
fucking
guy.
hate
And in
him
the-
though.
and in the show, all he is in the show is a misunderstood villain.
A
that
whiny
people
piece
like.
of shit.
Yeah, and people rooted for him, and I'm like, no, you
No!
don't understand, dude. This guy raped people. He even raped child zombies. I mean, he took Rick's hand in like the first 5 seconds of meeting him, and
Yeah,
that was the
exactly.
comics.
Exactly. And well, so they bring in Beta in the show.
Yeah.
And it's Ryan Hurst, right? So then they're doing The Talking Dead afterwards.
Yeah,
Which
just
is
to watch that too.
the show after the show that's talking about the show that just happened.
Yep.
Which is so weird to me.
Show stuff.
But yeah. And it's funny because I had always thought okay, Ryan Hurst does kind of favor Texas. And the best
that,
part
yeah.
was all his family going, that looks like him. And I was like, yeah, it does. Damn right it does.
I watch all the shows we were talking about, but now I've had some free time lately. So what am I watching? I started watching Gold Rush over from the beginning on the Discovery Channel.
I'm watching Hannibal again.
Nice.
Started New Year's Eve. I was just like, I gotta get some meds in.
I want to
Yeah.
watch this show called Yellow Jackets because I keep reading a lot about it.
I
and
heard
it
it's
looks
good.
really good. That's what I've heard, and I keep meaning that's probably gonna be one of the next shows I actually go and watch. I like the. binge
Oh,
things.
okay. So it's by the creative minds of Rick and Morty.
What is?
The High on Life.
Oh yeah. I've been wanting to see that really bad. Also, I mean, Harmon created one of my favorite sitcoms of all time, Community. I don't know if you guys have seen Community, but I'm in love with that show. And
I haven't.
that was one of the first things. Well, not first things, but it was an earlier thing that he did that had Joel McHale from Talk Soup, Chevy Chase is in it. So many people are in this. It's amazing.
You know what movie I decided to watch this morning? Well, started to, and then I walked out and did something else because I'm ADHD, and that's just what happens with life. We're flipping through channels because I was trying to find the Rose Parade, and it turns out the Rose Parade's going to be on tomorrow. By the way.
Yeah.
Because they won't run it on a Sunday.
Yeah,
That's just
they push
tradition.
back Monday Night Football.
Yeah. So I was going through Peacock and
Let me see your peacock.
cat. So and Prince of Egypt is on. And I was like, fuck yeah. You know what? I loved Chevy Chase and Martin Short as the priests. Well, they're doing by the power of Ra.
Yep.
And I was like, we're gonna watch this, and I walked out of the room and everything. You know, I never watched it, but I started to.
Speaking of the two,
Slippy.
then, all we need now is Steve Martin, and we got the Three Amigos.
If we
Another
could,
one.
that'd be awesome. Let's not actually say that out loud because I really,
Yellow Jackets rule makes you never want to play again. Yeah,
I will
love
be
it.
very
Just not gonna
pissed
watch that then.
if they make part 2 or a reboot of the Three Amigos. That movie is
I-
perfect the way it is.
They
I made
couldn't.
so many
Honestly,
gifs
Chevy's got
with,
too many
like-
health problems and too many
Wait, who, Chevy Chase?
social problems. Yeah, he's got too many health problems and too many social problems.
He's
got-
always had the
Hi,
social
little
problems.
buttercup.
He's always
you know,
had this. He's
it
always
got
been a dick.
worse. It got times a million when he was doing Community to the point
I
where
heard that.
he felt slighted by Harmon during a rap party, and he felt slighted by Harmon in front of his daughter.
Yeah.
And there was this big argument between them. And Harmon does like a lot of podcasts too, like a lot
Yeah.
of. He's got a D&D podcast, but he's got a normal podcast. And on one of those, he actually played the voicemail that Chevy Chase left him when he pretty much like they agreed that he was going to quit the show.
You
And
have
that
a guy.
voicemail was bad, but the thing is, if you actually listen to the voicemail, and if what Chevy Chase said actually really did happen, or at least he perceived that that's how it happened, then yeah, he went a little bit. No, he went too far. But the context is what's missing when Harmon talks
Well,
about it.
The
Yeah.
problem, the problem with here's the thing, Dan Harmon. If you're going to have, especially if you've seen the quote unquote controversial movie they made or short they
The
made,
doll.
The Doll,
Oh
We're-
yeah,
where he and everyone's like, "Oh my god, stop watching Rick and Morty." I was like, he literally has Morty getting practically raped by the Jelly Bean King, and you guys are surprised
Dude.
by this thing that was all over Twitter.
He didn't
Yeah.
get
But-
practically raped.
No, he did.
Like,
He got
did.
manhandled. But
They suggest that
He
maybe
got
it went
beaned.
further.
someone
Ooh,
like Dan
Bean Boozled.
Harmon,
Bean boozled.
yeah, Bean Boozled. Someone like Dan Harmon, who is going to has no problem, obviously making Rick and Morty Solar Opposites or anything like that.
Love solar opposites.
Oh, that show's so good though. I haven't watched the new season yet, or in the last 2 seasons, but because I think they're on season 3. But you have this guy who's able to willing to do this, and it's like Chevy Chase. Why would you fuck with him? Because he's going to just out it and make a whole thing about it, and just ridicule you left and right.
Mhm.
Sorry.
So Slippy says, if y'all ever wonder what I'm like in person, just watch Supernatural. I'm Dean.
oh dude, me too.
And then all I'm thinking
Cool.
about is the Yellow Fever episode.
You know what? I'm surprised they actually never did with Supernatural. I know they did the dress up as Ghostbusters. They really did do that, but they never actually made a Ghostbusters episode, which would have been great.
There
That was
talks
actually
about
one
a
show-
Ghostbusters one and a Buffy episode, and
Oh,
they
yeah.
ended up only doing just the Scooby Doo one.
I actually was not willing to watch it for a long time until Cobb made me watch it. I was like, this show's actually fucking rad. It was
The
fun.
Office?
I couldn't get him to watch it.
No,
Supernatural.
Supernatural.
Okay, I just saw the puppy. I love Supernatural, but The Office just got mentioned. That is one of my favorite shows of all time. I don't care how depressed I
Oh,
am.
right,
If you
Slippy
put on The
Star, he's
Office,
deep.
I will sit
Right.
and watch it for days. I'm convinced
it a-
The Office has the greatest love story of all time in it, and it's beautiful.
Hi, Australia.
Mm-mm.
Hello. How are you?
Balls.
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 No,
Also,
The Office
Slippy,
is a
welcome to
beautiful
Nebraska. We have weather.
Where the wind
There's
comes
some
sweeping
corn.
down the plains. It's not Oklahoma anymore. It's definitely it's Nebraska.
Nebraska, we do have a lot of wind.
It's the wind tunnel.
You could get some kites.
That's the ex-wife. I mean, what?
I saw a heavy
said the
metal
wind
table
tunnel.
fly up into
That's
the
a
air
hot
and
dog
like,
down a
stay, like, 10
hallway.
feet away when we were there.
People like
That's-
coming into
That's the,
town. They see we have the watch for wind on overpass, and people are like,
We have that over
"Fuck,
there.
how do you see wind?" And we're like, a little flag, and yes, you do have to beware of the wind because
the wind
apparently
sock.
they don't. Apparently, they don't have these signs in other states that you don't get windy enough to like blow a car sideways on the road.
No.
We do.
Yeah.
So,
when
so
when
that's
I was
something
there,
you can
that
have
poor
fun
guy
with.
lost his food and his drink because the wind came along. I remember because we were outside smoking
Yeah.
and then it picked up the whole big metal table like for like maybe a foot off the ground, but it lifted up and like through the table the wind. I'm like, holy, that's some wind, man.
when you guys finally do come to California and visit, and we take you to Hollywood and we take you through the Grapevine, especially if it's summertime or like the end of summer when we have like the prevailing westerlies and stuff like that, and the Santa Anas. Oh my God, going to the Grapevine, you can feel like even you can. They don't let big rigs go through there at certain times because it can blow them over. It gets and going through the Grapevine is a 6 or 7 lane highway going or a 6 lane highway the entire way up this mountain and curvy and all sorts of stuff. So
Oh yeah, sounds awesome.
yeah, it's neat through there. It's really really neat. It's pretty murdery through there actually. Oh, one of the things you guys are actually in love if you ever get to Hollywood and stuff like that. It's just the morbid stories and everything behind it. It's so fucking cool. Like just rad.
There are a couple
Nobody
people
eats
who eat their
vegetables here.
I eat my vegetables. We do have some vegetables around besides just corn. But
Wait.
We have corn.
no,
I heard
But it
porn.
starts with a K.
I love corn. Somebody that
Backwards
this guy when I was going to college, his mother was in a class with me. We went and had drinks afterwards, and she invited her son to one of the drink gatherings after class, and was trying to hook me up with her son, who apparently was the original drummer for Korn, even though he was like much younger.
Oh,
than
David.
I am. But he decided not to go on tour with them, so he left the band because he wanted to hang out with his mom.
Yeah, a lot of them got sober. I've delivered to Head a few times, Brian Welch, and I've delivered to Jonathan Davis a few times. Brian, they actually didn't get. He didn't. A lot of them were like, we can't be around this so much. You know, Brian Welch did the same thing. He didn't get kicked out because he was on drugs or anything like that. He actually sobered up. But in order for him to see his daughter and stuff like that, he had to bring her on tour. And then, even though like they're being sober in their area, there's still a whole bunch of bands when they're on tour and they have their setups.
Yeah.
They're all experiencing that. And he's like, right now, while my daughter's young, I can't do that. And even though like that was the big thing with like Korn, I'm not the biggest Korn fan. I do like some of the songs. And Brian Welch is an amazing person. He's really, really nice when you meet
I'm
him.
still
in person.
laughing at when he left the band.
That's where I was getting to. Go ahead and say it real fast.
There was an article.
In
The title of it was Korn gave head to God.
what's the big rock the rock magazine, the Rolling Stones magazine?
Oh,
it was in
wasn't
that.
Rolling Stones.
No, it was.
Was it?
Yeah.
Was it? Okay, I thought it was on Hit Parader.
Or Hit Parader, yeah. I'm sorry, it was Hit Parader or
Parader.
Rolling Stones, one of the two.
Hit Parader, Circus Magazine. Fuck you. What? You're pissed off because your dad gets more pussy than you?
But he actually didn't leave the band because he was super religious. He left the band because he wanted to make sure his daughter could grow up. And then he started when his daughter was finally like grown up a little bit, and I think in her teens and stuff like that. That's when he was going and doing on-stage appearances with them. And then he got back in the band because it literally had nothing to do with like, oh, I got to stay sober. No, it had to do with he was just trying to take care of his family at the time.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, sorry. I was going to go back to some of the old comments and then I saw this.
Everyone deer poops.
What?
Deer poop.
What?
How do you deer poop?
I don't know.
You just leave a whole bunch of
That's when you
pellets.
sit on the toilet and you write a letter to what's about to happen.
Deer poop.
Yeah.
I would like you to know.
Oh. I had
It's,
no
like, it's
idea.
like the women that write the letters to their unborn children, but it's it's poop.
Yes, it is
Terrifying
Nah.
born children is what Nebraska has.
Where
He
is
who walks behind the
We
rose.
had greens today and they were damn good.
where is he who walks behind the rose? Is that in Nebraska,
Yes.
still in the corn?
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yes.
It is, yeah.
Yes.
Fucking,
My grandpa
Malachi
was a
Enforcer?
corn farmer. I
and
raised cattle and hogs.
your Eskimo, what's her nephew's name? Malachi.
Malachi? Yeah.
You know how hard it is every time I hang out with Jen not to bring that up out of respect.
Oh, it's cool. The first time I saw it spelled out, I was like, Malachi?
Malachi. I said the same thing the other day.
And she's all, Malachi? I'm like, oh.
Oh.
Like Malachi the Enforcer, right?
And she's like,
She's
please
like,
stop.
no, like from the Bible? I'm like,
Yeah, it's all from the Bible.
Like Malachi the Enforcer, right?
Oh yeah.
Go
Go
Huskers.
Who wants you
My
too,
brain's all
Malachi?
Husker Du.
Oh, not Huskers, no, dude. I live so close to the stadium, and we have been sold out. We hold the record for it for the most select games, and it is. My birthday is on Halloween. I have walked downtown when I was on my birthday, and there's like, well, and this one everybody wears red. You know, it's a sea of red is what we call it, and they park like blocks and blocks and blocks away, and out in parking lots where they have shuttles running through. And there's this guy who has been dressing up like Jesus for forever. And so, like, it wasn't Moses parting the Sea of Red, but there was this huge parking lot with this Jesus walking with a huge cross parting the Sea of Red with, like, whacking him with the cross as he's getting around.
That's kind of fun.
And they have airplanes that fly over the stadium. And so when they're practicing their flyovers and whenever they do their flyovers, they're flying over my apartment building on the way. And
no.
that just, Huskers get so annoying. And everybody's so all about the Huskers. And I was there. I was in it for a while until I moved here to where I'm living exactly in the middle of it. And then it's just like, no, not y'all.
Oh dear God, we're
I
close
was
to.
listening to Small Town Murder, and one of the victims was Albert Fish. Yep. Bert Fish.
Bert Fish.
Old birdie fish.
That's something we can cover for You Can't Set With Us is Albert
We've
Fish.
talked about
I'm
Albert
actually-
We've talked about Albert
You
Fish
haven't talked
before.
about Albert Fish? Oh, was it
Yeah.
27 or 29 pins that they found embedded in his groin?
Oh
when
my
they
god,
were-
it was.
Oh, it was
it was more than
they
that.
couldn't
I thought.
count them.
Oh, I thought
I
it
thought,
was.
they counted a certain amount.
They counted to
and
a
then
certain
there were
amount,
more
but it
that
just
they just couldn't get out.
I
they
think
actually
they said they didn't know the amount totally, but
no
Yeah.
you can find the X-rays because they X-ray that's when they started
I
having
have.
X-rays, and you can find it and it's just a blur. But there's certain ones that are closer up front, and you could count them, but then behind it there's a blur of pins just stuck in his crotch.
Well,
oh my god!
Yeah,
I
you
love
can
the
bet
market.
I'll
Have
be,
you
I'll be
seen?
back out
Do
that
they
way
still have the
against Slippy.
Zodiac Garden up down
Huh?
there?
in the old Market Emporium.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
What Flippy just said.
What did he say? Read it with us.
If y'all are ever here, I work at the old Market Emporium. Make sure to come by and see me.
I've never been to
In
Nebraska.
But I'm here.
I'll go. I mean, like, if we're in Nebraska, I'll stop by and see Slippy. He's fucking rad.
I'll definitely
We're
be going
trying to
back
get an
again soon, hang out with Dell.
MPV,
So
guys. So we're
It's
gonna try to
it's
make
the
it.
Garden of the Zodiac is what I. If you haven't been there yet, Slippy, you have to check it out. It's
By the
a nice
way,
place right down there to just chill.
Pogo purchased our shirts. By the way,
Oh,
oh,
nice.
nice.
so
You're awesome. You're all
yay,
awesome.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Mhm.
I think I just got like a random porn text.
It's T-Mobile.
It's T-Mobile. Never mind. No, it's 19 people in a chat.
I block that shit. I hate when that
I
happens.
can't
me
stand
too.
that. I end up going through every single number and blocking every single number, even if like they're not culpable in it.
Yeah, I screen even my doctor's appointments. Like, I don't like
Yeah.
people calling me.
Oh yeah.
Unless I know exactly who it is
I've
and I
never
need
been
and I
there.
need or want to speak to them immediately, I look and then I just let it go to voicemail.
If it's you guys, like if it's any one of you guys, I mean, I know I haven't given you guys my personal number yet, but even if I'll give it to you. I have no problem with like Delphine and you and Susan.
Mine is,
Susan has it. I'll
911.
answer.
Said my number is 911. I'm joking.
911.
Don't call
Hey, is Raz
911
there?
and ask for Raz. That would be bad.
Sir, is there an emergency problem? Oh, yeah, I just want to talk to Raz. That's my emergency.
I
But
need to talk to the Razzles.
if it's not like you core people, I don't answer the phone. I send it right to voicemail. Text me. Like, I'll answer in a heartbeat for Susan. Obviously, a call. Delphi, all you guys, but everyone else, I'm like, dude, don't call me. Just text
No,
me.
everybody knows better than to call me.
Yep.
So
Slippy, I can't drive, by the way. I have epilepsy, so that's one of the reasons why I can't just pop over and join you. But if you're in Lincoln, I have had Scab come over and visit, and
Hi,
we could
Matt.
try to set something up and get
Matt's watching
Nadine's
from the bed over
grandma
there on the other
and
side of the room.
Scab and
Hi, Matt.
Slippy and
You
chill
gotta,
together sometime. That would
you
be
gotta say
fun.
it properly. Dell. You got to say it. You look, Slippy. If you've been thinking, I'm in Lincoln.
I do have ice cream.
I'll be there in a
have cotton-
heartbeat. Fuck that.
I
I mean,
have
hell
cotton
yeah.
candy ice cream right now, and it's pink and blue.
You don't
and
understand how much I love ice cream.
He's eating all the moose trap.
I have Culver's
I haven't had all of it.
Oreo
Yeah.
volcano. I think it has.
Oh, I'll eat
all-
it. I don't care.
I have
So good.
pink and blue cotton candy ice cream, and I put sprinkles on it.
I
I
fucking
like
love ice
vanilla
cream.
ice cream.
Real ice cream, Slippy.
I love vanilla.
I thought he was about to say something. I like real ice cream.
And once
Not-
in a while, I have this urge to have butter pecan. It's once in a while, I've got to have it.
Oh
Why?
God,
I
dude,
love
the
butter
prayer
But, like
pecan.
the
lane.
southern butter pecan is so good, man.
When we were covering
Do you
Dean
remember
Coral and
Quarterback
stuff.
Crunch?
Yes.
I love quarterback crunch.
We're gonna have to have an ice
Oh.
cream episode.
There is a I found it. They had a Reese's peanut butter crunch as ice cream. So fucking good, man. It's amazing. It was made by Tillamook or something like that, or I think it was, and like they happen to have it down here. Tillamook is out of Washington or
And they make
Oregon.
amazing cheese.
Oh dear, so good, so fucking good.
I know they're in Tillamook.
If
Tillamook.
you guys come down here, there is an actual dairy. You can go pet the cows and feed them by hand, and then eat their ice cream. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Called Young's
Can you
Dairy,
eat them
but-
as well?
Yeah. They have a restaurant there too. They'll everything they're
Paris
eating
Ranch
is
is
butchered
like
from
that.
the
That
farm,
one?
all the byproducts. But they have these pint sales where you can just go
Portlandia?
and buy pints of like so many different kinds of ice cream, and their shit is amazing.
Have you met a
dude.
leaky?
I'm reminded. This is reminding me of freaking The Simpsons. Pick out a cow and I'll punch it.
I mean,
I was
kind of.
just thinking of
Um,
Hitchhiker's Guide, but
But I mean,
Uh,
they've got one of those giant wavy slides that you get on like a potato sack and slide down. Which even
Oh, I was
as an
gonna say,
adult
I
is
thought
fun
it was
as
like
shit.
giant
Why
wavy
did my-
slide for
Yeah.
a
Why
cow.
did my brain
and it
go
sends it
to
down-
I
what
mean,
the fuck movie was that?
it could work for a cow.
It was all.
Can I ride the cow as it rides the potato sack going down the slide? Because that would be excellent. I pay for that.
In
I-
my
have you ever
country,
ridden a
when
cow?
you violate a holy
I have,
animal, we beat you with
Have you?
bamboo sticks, you prevert.
Oh fucking hell! You just got us taken off right there.
No, it's a quote
I-
from a movie.
I rode a cow named Beetlejuice.
You're all that. No,
and
you're not
then
all that.
Years
No,
later,
isn't it like
I was
Titus
in
and
a-
So or something?
Yes. Sorry.
Huh?
Sorry, that cut me out. She wrote a cow named Beetlejuice, and that just killed me.
I rode a
Was it
cow
black
named
and white?
Beetlejuice
Was it a
that my
Holstein?
friends had. It was brown and white. But
Oh,
then,
that's a New Jersey
And then I was
or
in
what Jersey Brown, what
uh,
they're called. Jersey
then,
Red.
then I was in a play, and we needed to have a cow. It was Rogan Josh, the comic book. Somebody adapted it into a play, and they were trying to do this Hindu holy cow scene thing.
fuck?
And so I like call up my friend's dad, who owns Beetlejuice, the friendly cow, and ask him. And so we like me and a couple of the people show up with a camera and a whole bunch of paint. And
Excuse me?
we're like painting this cow with all these
This is
holy
getting
symbols
hot.
on it. And then like somebody has to run up and jump on the cow because it like he rides off on in the thing. But so
Oh,
I've
stop.
ridden a cow, I've painted a cow, and I've helped somebody else ride a cow and filmed it.
Keep telling
And
me more.
then
Would you stop it?
Well,
Sorry.
here's the
well,
best thing
the
you can
problem
do. If
was
you're,
they screwed up the video, so they only had like the jumping part, and so it just looked like this guy
Oh, yeah.
kept jumping,
Hmm.
mounting a painted cow, and that is one of not actually even the top 30 weirdest things that I can put on my list of shit that I've done in Nebraska.
It's not
friend-
It's-
even one of the top
My
30
friend had a
weirdest
cow
things
that
that
we
involved a
named
cow and
Herbert.
a camera.
yeah, you
cow
know,
named Herbert. Nice.
Oh, no, and he hated his name. If you called him Herbert, he'd and run off.
So we called him Brisket instead.
Yeah, Herbert was tasty.
Tasty as fuck.
Herbert
The
was
best
tasty.
thing to do if you live in an area that has like a lot of farm, like a lot of cows and stuff. There are special types of shampoo that are colored that won't actually dye like your skin or hair or anything. You take that shampoo, you sneak onto the farm at night, and you write fucked up messages on the cows. It's safe for the cow. It doesn't hurt him at all, and it just washes right off. And it's safe for him. But you just leave secret messages for the the ranchers. And we used to do this often, like really fucked up messages.
I just want to let you guys know something real fast. Happy cows live in California.
Yes.
Mhm.
Happy cows make happy cheese.
They make happy cheese. We have the best cheese in California and best ice cream.
Our
Just letting you guys
daughter
know.
said that she wanted to abduct a cow.
But we
She's
have
like,
the
but
best ribeyes.
I want a boy cow. And it
You haven't had hair transplant.
and this was just a couple years ago.
The
She
hair
was
transplant
16
is
when
so
she did
good.
this, but she thought that there were boy cows and girl cows. It was
Yeah.
very confusing for a while. It took her a long time to learn and understand that a boy cow is not called a cow. It took her a long time.
They are bovine.
It took her
and
just
they
as
are
long to realize
tasty.
that brown cows didn't give chocolate milk.
Had to teach somebody who grew up on a farm with cows and pigs, hogs, that hamburger wasn't made from ham. It was actually made from cows.
Hmm.
From delicious cow. Someone asked me once. It was I think it was my stupid ex. I think it was her. She's like, because she was going through this kick of we have to be vegan and all sort of stuff. And look, I have nothing against vegans. I actually love
It's just
vegan
not-
food.
Our cup
But-
of tea.
She's like, she was like trying to show me like all these videos
Oh,
of
the cow slaughtering video.
cows being slaughtered, pigs being slaughtered, and she's all after we're done watching all of it like one night because she had to go through and be a narcissist and be like, oh, what do you think about it now? I was like, I still want to eat pork and I still want to
No,
eat
I'm pretty
cows.
hungry.
It
Actually.
doesn't bother me to watch.
Dude, I
It-
worked at a slaughterhouse growing up on a farm on and off, and we would literally slaughter the cows and then pick our favorite cuts that we were going to butcher that day, and then grill out
They make
there
great
at the
Ouija
farm
boards.
after work. So I mean, if you're a meat eater, it's they're just like
We
eating
had
something that
to,
has a face that's satisfying.
I like
The pizza place that I worked at, I had to
Chunky
we
Monkey.
had to I had to
and Cherry Garcia.
pallets of chickens because we would get them just
chicken.
from cold storage, and I would have to literally they come pieced out and everything ready to go for like for an actual bucket of chicken.
Yeah.
But you still had to clean out the gizzards. You had to take out the hearts. You had to break the hip bones and all this other stuff. And it was never something that was I was disgusted by it the first time I did it, but after that I was so used to it, like it doesn't bother me to clean fish to butcher an animal, you know.
Yeah.
And I love animals.
Slippy says, "Happy cows in California." Ha! We paint ours and then mount ours. That sounds like our cows are living a pretty sexy life right there.
It's
Right?
glamorous.
Slippy showed his cows the condom trick.
So while we're speaking about slaughterhouse fun, okay.
Slaughterhouse.
story.
Slaughterhouse fun.
Okay, so one of my well, a number of my friends worked at a meatpacking plant because there are a lot of them here in Nebraska.
Well, I'd imagine
And
so.
so
Hi,
one of
Jimmy.
them had this thing where he was telling me all about this, and I worked at this bar and restaurant thing. They were like kind of together but separate. You had like the mostly bar side that you get food on, and you could order drinks on the food side, but we'd all hang out at the bar later. And he comes in and he's talking about they had a thing where the meat would it would be up top and rotate in and then come down like a slide basically.
Yeah.
And
The meat
then
chute.
to the people who were doing stuff. But they would get up there in their outfits and slide down it like a big blood slide. And they were like splashing blood up and everywhere. And my other friend who worked at the restaurant was just like, "That's you fuckers doing that?" And he's like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "I work maintenance there at nights, and we have been trying to figure out for a year how in the hell there is blood on the ceiling of that room at least 3 times a week."
Dude, there's this. I don't know why it reminded me of. But there's this venue in Hollywood called the Fonda Theater, and they have this really it's a dive bar and dive pub, but it's upscaled attached to it, and they have a ton of good beers, just really awesome beers that you can't find anywhere else, but right there. Their stouts were amazing, but they had wild game sausage. And my buddy and me ordered it, and one of them was alligator. I wasn't too a big fan
I
of
like
alligator,
alligator.
Gators are
I'm not a big fan of it.
depending on how it's prepared.
It's
really,
lean.
though.
but they had one of them was elk. I can't think of what else, but they had wild
I
boar,
love venison.
Boar's
Ostrich,
great.
probably.
bison. Oh my god, I've had
Bison
bison a
sausage.
million times, but their
Ostrich is pretty
bison
good.
sausage was amazing.
Oh yeah.
Bison
Um,
is so lean.
Bison
Most
is what?
game, I mean, a lot of game is pretty lean, but when you get,
Well, most
I worked,
sausages So if you
They
are
add
going to
fat.
make they add pork fat or they add lamb
Yeah.
fat, the kidney fat from lambs or from lambs or pork.
Lambs.
lamb or sheep. Sorry,
Lambs or
lamb,
pork? Lambs or pork?
lambs or porks. They add the
Are you
sausage.
Swiss-Guard?
Hey, tolkis. But they'll add the fat to it to actually for a binder and actually add some moisture and everything like that. But it comes out so freaking good. Like I love Lulu burgers.
Is it a Lisa
If you've ever
Frank
had Lulu
binder?
burgers, oh my god, lamb burgers. Oh dear god.
Oh
Was it
yeah,
a Lisa Frank binder?
What
I
Was
am
it
a
a Lisa
huge fan
Frank
of
binder?
lamb.
was it? I thought you said Anne Frank.
Lisa Frank.
Oh, was that her cousin?
No, she's the annoying, bright '90s.
You know, it'd be
Like,
funny if it turns out she is a
the
distant
freaking
cousin of Anne
leopard
Frank.
seals with neon leopard print on them and stuff, like
Yep.
that kind of stuff, and the unicorns.
I'm drawing a blank. I have no idea what you're talking about. I probably will once I see her.
Lisa,
You will.
It was all pretty.
You'll know if
little...
you see her. You'll know if you see her art, because her art was the big thing over
Here we
traffic
go.
papers and folders like the world over.
Oh, okay. I know. Yep. All right.
And there's the
Did you
there it is.
collect
There's the leopard.
stickers?
I'll
You're
eat
a
a
little
leopard
one.
seal. I will try a leopard seal.
Poor
This is
Slippy.
awesome.
No,
Leprosy.
we have
Leprosy,
horrible vegan food here.
I'll try leprosy.
I mean, everybody's
Uh,
like, "Oh yeah,
Oh, dear
check out
God.
our kale."
Sylvia said, funny story. We found a condom at work, and my coworkers yelled at me and thought it was mine.
You're like, bro, I keep my used condoms in my drawer at home.
No, he keeps them in his nasal cavity for later.
I knew somebody that did that. Well, not the nasal cavity, but like they had a
Ooh.
box, and that's so weird.
Oh, dear venison is fucking delicious. I will eat
Nebraska's
venison
making-
jerky is so good.
Oh
Venison,
God!
anything, and you get it rarely here because I don't know a lot of hunters, so I don't really have access to it except for this really cool international market. It's one of the biggest supermarkets in the world, actually, and it's called Jungle Gyms, and you have a safari map to navigate around the actual supermarket because it's that big. It's crazy.
Our butcher,
And we get stuff like the wild boar, the gator, and the
our butcher
all that stuff
shop, Oakdale, whatever it's called, they have every wild game you can think about, like everything from. I think they even have python and stuff like that, like all that stuff there.
I like
I
snakes.
killed have a sorts of venison
Snake's
though.
pretty good.
I haven't
I
had snake
wanna
yet.
do
That's on my
that.
list.
I want to do that thing where you have to go. I can't remember where it's at. I think it might be in. I'm not even going to make a guess. You go climb up a mountain and they taunt a cobra until they piss you off, or until they piss it off, so that its heart is beating really rapidly, and then they catch it and they cut out the heart and pour out the blood and serve it to you with the still beating heart. You eat, and then you take the shot of the blood mixed with the venom, and then they cook the snake in like 5 or 6 different ways and serve you the snake.
And then you get trichinosis, and you have to be rushed back to the United States to take care of. That right there, that reminded me. I'm not going to lie, I framed that condom because I was that proud.
You should. That's an important step
Wait,
in life.
the condom that you found?
No,
Oh, the one
Yes, the one that he found.
I found the condom in a parking lot. I
I
framed it. I was
framed it.
proud of it.
He just
Oh,
one day he's like, I need to commemorate this.
We'll be
lonely
down there
random
to go
condom.
hunt. What? What?
He wanted to commemorate the lonely random found condom. That's what it is. He's gonna bronze.
Oh,
it
this is my life so far in Nebraska. They think the used condoms are mine because nobody else can get any, Slippy. It's a good
That's
thing.
fair. I can't
No
go
one
anywhere
uses
without someone
condoms.
blaming me for
I don't think
condoms.
anybody uses condoms anymore at all.
She just said because nobody else is getting any in Nebraska.
I bet you there are people getting some in Nebraska.
Well, Slippy's there, so
Yeah.
There
He's
you
got ice
go.
cream, guys. He's got ice cream. Don't you love ice cream?
Titty,
I gotta
fucking
say-
titty.
I'm actually still writing me a Slippy short horror story.
Yes, 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 yes. I'll bring it to MBV for y'all to sign.
I gotta say, I didn't know who Slippy was when I first joined this, and I thought, like, based on the video that, sorry, Slippy, but that you were like, 80 years old and like,
Bring up
Then I
Susan's.
like found your site. I'm like,
Babe.
what?
Find a condom, pick it up all day long. You'll have good luck.
And ice cream.
Ew. You're all like, ew. Why is it so?
But, but the ice
So-
cream is in the condom.
Going back to the cow stories,
That's not ice
Um,
cream.
my ew.
It's called heavy
I have
cream.
It's
another
cream.
one. I have
It's
another
crema.
story for condoms, but going back to the cow story, my so high school rivalry. Well, somebody painted the Freya Olinda cows, the 4-H cows, green and killed them all.
Toxic
Yeah, you
paint.
gotta
I
use
bet
the
you
right
toxic
kind of
Yep.
paint.
Yeah, they
That's
killed them
why
all.
we use the shampoo. That's why we always use the colored safe shampoo so we wouldn't hurt anyone.
And as for the condom story, we went down to one of our rival schools and put mayonnaise in condoms and then tied them to trees on a hot day. So they would expand and then they exploded.
Boom.
Mayonnaise. Did you say mayonnaise?
Smell
Yeah,
of
mayonnaise.
warm mayonnaise in the morning.
What is wrong with you?
It's hilarious.
Mayonnaise is disgusting to begin with.
No, it's
and
not.
then-
It's amazing.
No, it's
Next
not.
time,
Mayonnaise
use
is the
marshmallow
best.
fluff.
Thank
Like-
you.
There are
Ugh.
days when I'm just like, I have to choose what I feel like eating today based upon the condiment that I want upon it.
Eat a
And
big bowl of
mayonnaise is
mayonnaise.
one of those. Yep.
You're
I
all-
get my fries in mayonnaise.
I can actually do that. I do like mayonnaise on my fries. I do like that.
I like putting sriracha in the mayonnaise.
Fancy sauce. I like making fancy sauce.
Or
I didn't
I've
make-
been putting gochujang.
I don't
in my
hate
mayonnaise and then
mayonnaise. I
dipping-
just think it's overused.
I don't
Exactly,
use it much
Nadine.
at all. Like
Pull
chicken, like
that
a
up.
chicken
Love
sandwich. I'll
Miracle
put some on a
Whip.
chicken sandwich a little bit.
I really like
I
Miracle Whip.
though. Yeah, me too.
Oh,
Yeah, Raz-
hi.
Frankers and Razzles.
Blech.
I love Miracle Whip, but I like mayonnaise too.
Don't
Like
put
I,
his
I
hair
like
in his
that kind of
armpits.
stuff. Like if
That's
I'm gonna
that
make
kind of a penalty.
No, right?
like leftover turkey from
Yeah, I
Thanksgiving,
do it.
I'll put
Now.
mayonnaise or Miracle Whip on that, or like
Blech.
chicken, like a chicken sandwich.
gonna-
I'll put like mayonnaise. or
You're gonna
Miracle
see me
Whip
with a
on
crew cut. She's gonna be upset. I put his hair in his armpits. He just went and got a crew cut.
it. Then I went to
No,
put my
I-
shoes on in the morning. It was full of warm
That
mayonnaise.
shit is so gross. Why do you do that?
What?
Put my hair in my armpits.
It is really
Freaked
gross.
out the one time I did it.
Now
on
today it's
accident.
bothering me. The other days I'm
I
like, no, I got a shirt on. I'm not gonna worry about
I
this.
did it on accident, and he freaked out.
I was like, what the fuck is
And
wrong with you?
so, Now I do it on purpose because it was hilarious.
Because I made the mistake of actually actually saying it like that to her, going, "What the fuck is wrong with you? Why are you putting my hair in my armpits?"
I did it.
I
And
am
shit
totally
triggered her
agreement
in her
with-
head.
With Texas on this one, that is just one of the worst things you could possibly do to a human being.
Did
Do
you
you-
put,
I
wait,
don't
wait, you
understand
put
it.
mayonnaise in his shoes? I'm sorry.
I did it. Delphine, let me ask you this real fast. Do you do the same thing I do when I sleep? Because I have to sleep and I don't put my hair up in a knot or anything like that.
no,
but I
mayonnaise on a
I do
tomato
put it
sandwich.
up. Yeah,
Yeah.
it has to be up.
Yeah.
By the
I
way,
flip
guys, if
it
you
up
guys-
over the-
Everyone, I know for the longest time, I have my hair tied back all the time when I'm on the shows, but my hair goes down to the middle of my back.
Yep.
Actually, lower than that.
I'm
Yeah,
his
my-
hairdresser, so
I call
don't
it
let
the
him.
handle.
sit on it
A
now.
handle,
It's
handlebars.
not up.
No, I do it. I dip my artichokes in mayonnaise too.
I fucking love Miracle Whip.
Mayonnaise
I've never
on
had a
your-
problem with it.
Ugh.
It's a
Ugh,
It's
miracle.
just
I
The
can't
old
do
commercials
it.
of Miracle Whip really
it's
got me
like
hooked on it.
rotten
They get
mayonnaise.
people eating with
Yeah,
carrots and,
thank
and,
you.
and celery and all this other
Ugh.
stuff. I like it.
I like it, but I don't think I dip
Texas has
celery
hair.
in it.
I do have hair.
I actually sleep with my hair not tied back. It does what it wants. I make sure it's all up on my pillow when I lay down.
I'll wake up every hour almost if my hair is not pushed
No,
above
see-
my head. It's
see.
weird.
No,
Do you wake up pushing on
Replace
your hair
Miracle
as you're
Whip
rolling over
mayonnaise.
and you're like, oh. And
Oh,
then
that
wake up and
sounds
you're pulling your own
good.
hair.
Matt?
Li-
Oh,
listen, me and Matt we were on a family vacation, right, with Michelle and Brooke and their family, and they sent Matt into the store to buy mayonnaise, and Matt just went and bought Miracle Whip, and I'm like, oh great, I love Miracle Whip, and the whole rest of the family is like, what the fuck did you just do?
yeah,
They
there's
made him go back in, and I went with him, just because,
I would.
and to
me-
exchange the Miracle Whip for the mayonnaise.
let me ask you
Right at
something,
the-
Rez.
at the
Do
I
you,
would have done it too.
I don't think I've ever asked you this. Do you like would I'm hoping this is correct. I'm hoping you like this. Do you like pineapple on your pizza?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yes,
See, okay,
okay.
there you go. Right there.
Okay.
That's
Okay,
Here's
here's
the
my
thing, like,
favorite, by the way. It's
I
a
have to have
border
a
to
hankering
border.
for it.
Wait.
Huh?
Ready? You do a border to border, and I got that from Roseanne, by the way.
Hmm.
Because they were like a border to border. It's Canadian bacon and jalapenos, and then you add pineapple, and it's perfectly rounded.
I mean,
don't like
Stranger
flat
Things
meat on
did
my
the
pizza.
jalapeno
you don't like what?
pineapple
I mean-
pizza thing.
I like the chunks of,
Not me.
of Canadian bacon.
Try before you deny.
Like
Yeah.
No, it has to be the round cuts of Canadian
yes.
bacon.
Oh,
No,
ooh,
I
you know what?
can't do
You know what might be really good?
Pepperoni
is
either.
prosciutto.
You don't like pepperoni on a pizza?
God no.
She
I
doesn't
mean,
Really?
if it's like I won't eat a pepperoni pizza. If there's pepperoni on like a meat lovers, I'm not gonna pick
was
it off
amazing.
or anything.
Right.
But I
My
prefer
pepperoni on a pizza has to be well done. It has to be
Okay.
crispy, and it has to like actually make cups. You know.
Yeah, I like the heirloom.
I can guarantee
Oh,
I've
you
heard
it
pepperonis.
takes longer for a
places a
pizza
lot.
place.
I have worked at and managed.
No.
Okay,
Good
pineapple.
pizza right here. A
Pineapple rocks,
sauerkraut
beer clips
pizza.
on my
You've
friend.
never had
Thank
one.
you.
You make a pizza.
I-
You use ham, and sauerkraut and extra cheese. And I'm telling you, I don't know why.
Oh,
but
that
it's
sounds so good.
fucking delicious.
There's
Hey,
a
Constance.
Hi, Constance. There's a pizza place in Downey where James Hetfield is from, and Dark Realm Records is based at.
My family lives
They have a pastrami pizza, and they
with
straight
pickles
up
and mustard.
pickles and
I'll
mustard,
try it.
and it's amazing.
Mhm.
The
I'll try it.
mustard
Right?
you wouldn't think works with it, but it works perfect with the pizza
yeah.
sauce and everything like that.
That's
Have
because
you
Downey
had the
knows how to
mashed
do it.
potato pizza?
Sounds so good. We would make
Mashed
a
potato pizza?
yeah. Well,
Papa John's made it for a while. It was like one of their specialty pizzas. Like for a limited time, they did this crazy menu, and they actually had a pizza.
I like
And
mac and cheese pizza.
It didn't have the pizza sauce on it. It was just literally like the crust, the cheese, the toppings, but it was instead of like a sauce or anything, it was mashed potatoes. And I thought it was
One
gonna
of
be terrible,
the-
but I was stoned as hell, and it was fucking delicious.
one of the pizzas we used to make at the pizza place I used to work at, we would do potato wedges, and it was roughly the same thing, but we left the pizza sauce on, and then we would take Parmesan cheese, like not the grated Parmesan that because we would get both. We get regular Parmesan,
Shredded.
but we would get the regular Parmesan that you would actually get in packets and put it all over it, and it actually came
Oh,
out fucking amazing.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Mariah is very upset right now, by the way, because she does not like pineapple. Dealing with with the
Read
pizzas.
it, read it.
Not only that, but I just using pineapple. Do you know how many pizzas don't cook or have to be remade because of that fucking topping?
That's you just
Crazy
gotta
chicken.
look.
Yeah.
You have to have the conveyor belt oven for those pizzas. I've
all-
worked.
They all have the conveyor
Yeah.
belt pizzas.
Oh, yeah.
conveyor belt pizza, things. But I
Well, there's
think,
all the places here
I
that
like
have the
thinly sliced. If you thinly slice a pineapple, like almost pepperoni thin, it's it's fucking amazing.
Well,
Right,
the
see,
thing with pineapple, a little bit goes a long way.
Yeah, you don't need
Now,
to put a lot on it.
if you pile too much pineapple on there, the pizza won't cook. But if you
Yeah.
put it on there in spots like it's supposed to, it cooks perfectly.
I think it overwhelms
my
the flavor too if you use too much pineapple. Like you have to balance it.
Yeah,
Cream cheese
Yeah.
is
Oh
also
my
a bit,
God.
but- yeah.
I eat pineapple to make my secret ingredient, heavy whipping cream. Look, I hate anchovies, but I'll
Oh,
eat
God.
anchovies left and right to make my heavy whipping cream.
Ew.
My,
I'm just
my
kidding.
favorite pizza
I
ever
fucking
is
hate
I
anchovies.
love anchovies, by the way.
Not me.
They're so gross.
That's one of my pizza toppings that if it's on there, I don't even smell the pizza. I'll stay far away from that fucking box.
Well, I
Me too,
get
bro.
them to give me
Like, I
the
fucking
anchovies
hate
on the
anchovies.
side, and then I'll just like put them on there and eat
Mhm.
them.
Anchovies is one of the few things that I will handle with gloves because I can't stand that smell.
We have a can of anchovies in there because I
Mm-mm.
really want to make
Oh.
the
I don't
garlic
eat fish really at all
pasta
either in
with
general. But
I'm the same way.
anchovies especially.
I like my calamari steaks.
I like
I'll have
sardines.
calamari, my shellfish and stuff like that, shrimps, and I do love tuna, especially spicy tuna for sushi and stuff like that. But I stay away from salmon and stuff like that. So that's weird. I'm weird. Sorry. What's going on?
okay.
We do have a conveyor belt without being specific. I work for a franchise known nationwide that wears red and blue. Cough, cough.
Oh,
This is the third company I've worked for, and pineapple is the one topping I have had the most issues with on any type of pizza.
you're weighing. Okay, I'll say this right now. You're weighing out too much.
have-
That specific company you work for right now, I've had their pineapple, and you are right. They put too much on and it doesn't cook right. But the other place I worked
It
for,
gets soggy at that
It-
the
place.
cut too.
yeah, you got to put on the right. It has to be crushed pineapples, and it can't crushed pineapples. And like I said, a little bit is a lot. So just put a little bit on there, and it'll cook perfectly.
I'm absolutely with Friday Blue here. I have a
Sorry.
pizza that I called it pregnancy pizza because it was Italian sausage, breakfast bacon, pineapple, cream cheese, and banana peppers.
Oh God, banana
And
peppers
it's
is so good. on
So
pizza.
good. But you were joking about being called pregnant, but when you were pregnant, but I always called that my pregnancy pizza because everybody made fun
There's
of me for liking that.
a place that uses
Ooh.
uses Katamano olives and stuff like that.
Ooh,
Cantaloupe.
nice.
Oh, I can't do cantaloupe.
Cantaloupe.
Oh, there's
Alright,
this
so
Part of
Pepper
my
on
favorite
cantaloupe.
movie has a reference to cantaloupe that I can definitely not say.
there's this taco place over in Morro Bay, which is Central Coast for us, and Central Coast of California, and they have bacon wrapped figs beyond, and they put a balsamic reduction whatever on there, and I'm being fancy saying that, and it's so good, so good. I mean, if you love figs, you'll fucking love bacon wrapped figs.
Oh God.
I've never had figs before, but it's on my bucket list. Not my bucket list,
Oh.
but like my want to try list, I guess.
So
When you come to California, we'll get you some figs. They're amazing.
there's something that I've been wanting to make, but he won't eat it. So like literally
What is
nobody
it?
else but me will eat it, I'm sure.
What is it?
Ramaki.
What is
I
ramaki?
don't know what that is.
Okay. So you take chicken livers
Nope.
and
Fucking, I'm done.
exactly, I knew it. So you take chicken livers and you
I'll
make
eat
a
beef
teriyaki
livers.
sauce with sherry,
I'll eat
with
beef
cooking
and
sherry.
I'll eat beef and pork
Oh,
livers.
hold on.
Chicken livers are gross.
Hold on. You take the chicken livers and you marinate them in a teriyaki sauce that has cooking sherry, and it also has pineapple and stuff
You
like that in it. You know.
Speaking of that,
And- wait, hold on.
I'm out right now.
Okay, that's fine.
I gotta go pee
So
real fast. I'll be right
then-
back.
You get, and he won't eat it because of this as well.
Chicken bones, all in it.
No. Water chestnut.
Oh nope,
No.
nope. I'm out on that too.
Egg yolks and water chestnuts are. I won't even go near them. They're gross.
So you take a water chestnut and then you wrap the chicken liver in bacon, and then you put it in the oven and you bake them for a while. They're so good.
My
can't
mom's
treat
all
bacon
about
like
that, but I'm not a big fan of the water chestnut either. They're just
Everyone's all, I'm out. I'm like, dude, it was so good. I grew up on that shit.
And scene.
I got so much trouble because my scene smelled like piss and fish for weeks. Oh God! Hey, Rainbow Twitch! I don't think Dante has ever gotten enough pineapple in or on the outside. Liver, sorry. Yeah, everyone's all, I'm out. Lost me a
That
chicken
is-
liver.
chicken liver is the only part of that I bacon, but I do enjoy chicken livers are the only part of a chicken I actually enjoy eating.
I like fried chicken livers.
Yeah.
That's like one of my favorite things. Okay, so when I moved to the South, that was like one of the weird culture shock things for me that I was totally all about. Though was going into the gas stations and they had like fried chicken livers there and fried chicken
Gas stations?
gizzards. Yeah, and, okay, their gas stations actually had pretty bomb food most of the time. And they would have these areas where you can go get like the fried chicken livers and fried chicken gizzards and fried chicken hearts and all that stuff. And I would go in and get the fried chicken livers. They were so good.
I got kind of food I'd recommend. Have you ever had a Kit Kat sandwich?
No, I have not.
You take 2 Kit Kat bars because each one is like your bread, and then you get the cheese spray in a can, the smoky
Oh my
bacon cheddar
God.
one, and you put it on there and with sweet pickles in the middle, and then you just eat it like a sandwich.
Okay,
I
so
like a pickles and cheese sandwich, but I don't know that I could put the Kit Kat on there.
If you
I
are
like-
super trashed, it is heaven. If you are sober, you will vomit everywhere.
you know what I really like, and it's really weird, is chocolate covered Cheez-Its.
I have tried that before. It was actually pretty good. And I'm not a
I
big
started
Cheez-It fan
that-
in general.
Well, I started that when I was in elementary school. Like when we'd go to break or whatever, I'd always get Cheez-Its and a fudgesicle. And I'd
I
like
miss
put the
Fudgsicles,
Cheez-Its
man.
in the fudgesicles.
I always dip my French fries in the Frosties at Wendy's. On
Yes. I also do it with regular shakes anyway,
Oh yeah, it's fucking good, man. It's good.
but you especially Frosties, man.
Oh yeah. God, now I want a Frosty.
Yeah, fries in the Frosty.
So what
Make
you
sure
can
you
have-
break into those Kit Kats.
Oh,
You
I
can
have
go
a
to
joke I want to
Wendy's
tell
and
everybody.
get
Oh,
a thing
good.
of
What?
they sell now like for just a couple bucks at Wendy's a
there.
little frosty thing,
Keychains. Yeah.
and you
Saying
get
right
a
now,
free
it's like right
frosty
now.
with every purchase that you make. So you can just go through and
Mhm.
buy your French fries, and you get a frosty for
Yep.
free to go with it.
I used to do that. I need to do it again. So here's my
Yeah.
joke.
And they only
You-
cost like a
Oh,
couple
wait.
bucks.
So yeah, I got a joke for you. It's actually for everybody else because you guys already know this joke, but I'm really proud of how I changed it. So for those of you at home, let me set up. Some people call a religious song a hymn, HYMN, and I need to explain that before I tell you the joke because you'd be surprised how many people don't know that. So last week, the creators of Mortal Kombat released some like crazy information about the game because there's an anniversary coming up and all
I know
that good
this.
stuff. And they said breaking news. Everybody knows that we loosely based the game off of Big Trouble in Little China. But what you didn't know is it's
What was
also
it?
heavily based on a Scandinavian religious song. It's definitely what you would call a Finnish hymn.
Did you hear my
This
inner
is
nerd
terrible.
come out for a second? I was like, it wasn't loosely based off Big Trouble. in Little- It was
I know.
mainly based off that.
I feel like a
He
little worm on a
typed
big
that
hook.
one out to me, and I got to typing out, looking up to see which one it was on
Which one it
Google.
was.
I have Finnish hymn, Mort. Fuck you, Raz.
You're hilarious.
How my hands went. I'm like,
I told everybody at the haunt last night about it.
Wait, were you
it-
really
it's
looking it up,
much
Joe?
better
You're like,
not.
finish
She
him.
was. She was looking it up.
And it's just a whole bunch of porn that
it wasn't-
pops up.
No, it's
It was no, it's just like I hadn't said it aloud in my head because he typed it to me. He didn't say it out loud. So
And
it
I was
wasn't
using the
until I
brain
was
at that
saying
time.
it.
What were
Yeah,
you
he had
talking
the
about that
brain.
one night where you were telling your story and you started it off so seriously, Raz? And I was like, and I don't know why
was that.
I literally picked up. No, it wasn't that. It was something else. I literally picked up on it. I was like, "Is this a true story?" You're all, "Shut the fuck up, man. Let me tell my story."
It was the plot to a movie that I was pretending was a real story.
I just remember
I can't
laughing
remember
at it from
which
the
movie it was,
start.
but
I
it
was
was-
like, I already know what's going on here.
It's like all the times where I tell you guys I watched this documentary, but it was really just a TV show.
I was watching this documentary earlier. There
Oh
was
my
there was these surgeons in the war. Are you talking about MASH?
Shut
So,
up! Let me tell my story.
so I hit up my dad
Right?
the other day because, you know, Mauna Loa actually did erupt like recently.
Yep.
So I hit up my dad and I was like, "Hey, Mauna Loa's in town." And he played along. He's like, "Mauna Loa, what's a Mauna Loa?" I'm like, "Hawaii's greatest volcano just erupted." he thought I was just playing around. I was like, "No, I was being serious. Mauna Loa actually erupted," but I had to say it that way. Like there was no other way to say it.
She was doing that, and then like right afterwards, I was like, Moana, or not Moana?
Mauna Loa,
No, what's her face? Moana.
Moana,
I was like, Moana actually died in the movie.
Tafiti.
I was
Yeah.
like, that was the only way she could actually make it there.
Right.
And Maui was her guide, and we're like, "Aw," right in the feels.
Motorola, Mauna Loa.
Motorola.
Motorola.
I
You
think
told your
beyond the
dad
Mortal
that,
Kombat.
but you didn't tell Joe.
I think beyond the Mortal Kombat, one of my favorite joke of 2022 was, did you hear that just a couple months ago that the band Toto won a Nobel Peace Prize? They
Wait, say
cured
that again?
vampirism. The band Toto got a Nobel Peace Prize a couple months ago.
Yeah.
Did you know about this? It was
I'm
for
listening.
curing vampirism. It happened the moment they blessed the rains.
So Toto's playing here next in a
They're
couple
playing
months.
in April, and I've been wanting to get tickets for the like.
And I flat out told her, I was
200
like,
some
"We are
odd bucks.
going to go see Toto, but if they don't fucking play Africa, I am not leaving until they play Africa. It is
And
the
neither
greatest
are
song of all
they.
time."
I would like to bring up that we covered all sorts of porn and all these other things. And Friday Blue, the only thing, not telling that to my kids about the volcano.
Oh, no, but most of that
Oh,
came before she was in
Moana,
here, though.
Moana?
Moana, yeah. Well, okay, look,
I mean, there's a lot
Hopefully
of
your kids
different
aren't-
shows that we could absolutely ruin with.
I just sent
theories.
a Lincoln
That's
book
not
to
a
her kid,
theory.
too. So
No.
I
Moana
have no
died.
idea what
That's
that was
the
in
only
reference
way.
to.
Maui was
So-
her. She went out to go past the waves. She drowned. Maui is her guide,
Poor Hey Hey.
and they're dead.
Wait,
and
no,
and
wait.
they took her to Tafiti to
Screw Moana. What happened to Hey Hey?
got eaten by the sharks probably.
Is this that Disney movie thing?
Yes.
Yeah,
I know what Moana is, but I've never actually seen it.
Okay.
It's
by the way, Hey
one of the
Hey-
last good Disney movies.
Hey
I
Hey
have no
is the
idea what's
chicken.
going on.
Hey Hey
have
is the
no idea
chicken,
what's
and the
going
chicken's a total
on.
derp. And I love it.
Pixar had another little short with
Look up Rainbow Factory. Okay.
Yes.
with Moana with the two volcanoes, which is one of those ones where you'll cry your fucking eyes out when you watch it because they're one volcano's growing, but they both face the other way. Or what was it? Wasn't that it, babe?
What?
The volcanoes with
Oh, the volcano one. That's
Well,
a sad one.
it's
How
a
do you
sad
get so
one.
sad for a volcano too. I mean, okay, so like literally,
and they're playing
Seen that
the over the rainbow and all that stuff. Like what's
It-
his face's version?
they were erupting and they would never catch. No, it wasn't somewhere over the rainbow. It was its own little song.
Oh, I thought it was.
No, it was its own little song, and it would talk about oh god, I know the. Hold on. You know what?
Lava?
Yeah, I Lava You is what it was called.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's when you watch it. If you watch it, it's sad, but it does have a happy ending because they finally do face each other and they do
Yeah.
fall in love with each other.
Yeah.
So-
It's a cute little story.
It says, I have a dream I hope will come true that you'll be with me or that you're here with me and I'm here with you. I wish that the earth, sea, and sky up above will send me someone to lava.
There is something about are they Polynesian or what are they in
Yeah.
Polynesian like culture where it's I don't know it's really romantic how they do things and tell stories and stuff like that. It's so cool. Like
Now
I
it's
know I'm
stuck in
going
my
off
head.
on
Now
it.
I'm gonna have to watch it. You know, actually, the one that if we're gonna talk about Pixar shorts that make you cry, there is that one with the pit bull and the kitten.
Spoilers.
That right at the
It's been a while.
heartstrings.
Have you seen that one?
I have, yeah. It's been out a while.
Oh my god, that one is just, and it's so it's one of those ones where you're watching it and you're like, especially me being a professional dog walker, like I'm around dogs all the time. I work with rescues, stuff like that. So of course I saw it and like the beginning of it where I was like, what? Fuck that guy. And
My
then
brain-
they both
Go
get
ahead.
adopted.
My brain is super fixated on something right now. We were talking about Over the Rainbow, and I got Kermit the Frog on the brain because I was just telling Jenny the other day that when I got it doing voice work, one of the things I learned how to do was Kermit the Frog, and it was
Sleepy with
because
Brian
of
Welch.
it was because of that old skit called Sensimia Street where Kermit and Big Bird are super stoned. So now in my head, all I hear is, "Hey, ho, Kermit the Frog here. I'd like to tell you today's letter, but I'm too fucked up."
Slippy, we live roughly within 10 miles of Jonathan Davis and Brian Welch.
And everybody around here wears Adidas.
Yeah.
Yes. This is a giraffe onesie. It is indeed.
We got to get that for Brooke. She loves giraffes.
I actually had to safety pin the ears so they'd stick up though, because they were like flopping forward and covering the eyelashes. And now I got to get the little doodly boppers to stick up.
The antennae.
Yeah, no. There's another word for them, and I can't remember.
There is, yeah.
Oh, we pulled it up. last
Lindsay
night.
Army. Team Pterodactyl.
Team Pterodactyl, guys.
Do you remember
Not to
that
bring
commercial
up-
for Domino's Pizza way back in the day when they were
With
like,
the Noid.
"And you get the
I love
box.
the Noid.
What can I do
Yeah,
with the
and
box?"
the box.
And he's like, "You can do origami. What's
Yeah,
that?"
all the things that you use the box.
My social studies teacher looked just like that guy. Like, and he was
Maybe it
really
was.
fucking weird too. So
Maybe it
like, he
was.
would-
I mean, I have. Sorry, go ahead.
Now I'm thinking about the fucking Noid, man. You know they brought the Noid back
Avoid
recently?
the noise.
They brought him back for a little bit.
It was
But
like
they're
for
not-
like a month or two at best, and it was only on like Hulu and like streaming channels that even played the
Yeah.
Noid commercial for a while. That was it. And that was fun, 'cause when I was a kid, they would have someone in a Noid costume at all like the events around town and stuff. So you'd see the Noid like sneaking around, but like anyone they put in that costume would like sneak around and do like really weird, supposedly comical things, but they were just weird when I was a kid. So I had a very different interpretation of what the Noid actually was versus how they used him during the commercials.
Avoid the noid. Yeah, Mariah just said, "Look, Up was devastating for a kids movie." Period.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
Fuck.
well, yeah, because you realize what's his face is the angel of
the
death.
kid.
So that's the only way that happens is what's his face has actually died.
But I love Kevin. Kevin's awesome.
It's another one I
It's
haven't
it's
seen.
Up is great, but then like when you realize the whole meaning behind it is, oh, he died, and now they're taking him to like heaven or wherever he's going.
But not according to the Doug show.
Okay, so now
The
I don't
what?
have to watch it.
The Doug.
Well, no, the actor died in real life. I think it actually goes
No,
out.
they have. Well, yeah, he died in real life, but they actually have a series of shows for Doug. Doug is the dog that talks, and he's
Yeah.
like, "Hello, my name is Doug. I just met you, and I love you." Squirrel.
How many
Yeah.
times has Disney done things with ghosts and stuff like that with
Well,
everything?
according to Disney, all stepmothers are bad. Mommies always die, and
The fact that Disney tried to make Cruella into an actual like anti-hero was like, you guys are fucking stupid here. There, you cannot make a person who wants to skin and make
No.
puppies as a coat into an anti-hero in any way, shape, or form. She is a straight up villain the entire
Well,
time.
Okay, I'm not talking about new Disney. I'm talking about old Disney.
Oh,
Like again,
She's talking
all
about Dicks on
stepmothers-
Castles Disney.
Dicks on Castles Disney, okay, and Sex
miss
in the
those
Sky.
days.
Yep.
Miss those days. A lot of people in the comments right now are like, I have no idea what they're talking about. Dicks on Disney. What?
Dicks on Castles.
Oh, okay. So originally back in the day, like they always hide dildos and stuff like that in the Disney VHS.
Especially a
covers.
Little Mermaid. So
Oh, that was obvious.
1989.
Little Mermaid was it 89?
Yes, it was.
Oh, it wasn't?
Yes, it was.
Was it?
100% 1989.
It felt
You think I wouldn't know that?
no. It just feels. I mean, okay. Look, that actually speaks to their quality. Disney, those old Disney cartoons to this day still
Oh, yeah.
hold up.
Even the old Snow White hold up.
Yeah, I'm with Susan. New Disney sucks. I can't stand it.
It
I
does.
don't even watch MCU anymore.
Honestly, the last
I love the MCU. That's one of the only things I do like about
cartoon.
Disney.
What they did to Thor, I will not watch it until they fix it.
Yeah, Disney had a
I'm
theme of not
not
having
doing
parents. Yeah.
Honestly, like out of all the movies they've made, though, like legitimately, they've used different runs from different eras of of the comics, obviously, because they've kind of had to with until the Fox thing, is happening.
Thor
now.
was never
But-
a belligerent idiot like that.
You're right.
He is a
but
leader.
for a long time. Chris Hemsworth was thinking about walking away from Thor and being done with it, but he said, if you give me like the comical side of Thor, I'll keep playing Thor and extend my contract.
Okay,
So that was
They
one of the
did
things that
that-
he wanted, but then they took it. I agree that they took it too far, though, and
they did that with Ragnarok, and
Love and
Ragnarok
Thunder-
was perfect.
it was.
Love and
but
Thunder
I
was
agree
too
that Love and
much.
Thunder was kind of a joke, and they're struggling a little bit, I think, with this current phase because the current phase of the MCU, the Eternals was a hard one. That was
Okay,
it was
the-
beautiful, but that was maybe one they shouldn't have made in this phase, and then they definitely shouldn't have done what they did with Love and Thunder. I agree with you.
Okay, look, I get the
But I think
point
the rest of
behind.
it's pretty good.
I get the point behind because now that it's coming out, they're actually confirmed that the Eternal that was birthing from the Earth is
Yeah, I
actually
know.
it's Genosha.
Genosha,
It's
yeah.
it's the mutant island, and that is the birthplace of adamantium, which brings Wolverine everything into it. So I get why they did that, and I actually didn't exactly I didn't like the Eternals, but I didn't have a problem with it. It wasn't a bad
Right.
movie.
It was one of those, okay, that was a movie I watched. It was cool. It wasn't great. It's not super memorable, but it wasn't like overwhelmingly bad. And they introduced
But-
Blade in the end of it. Well,
So
Blade's voice.
what they did with the big one, okay, so it was one is Thor, the other one is Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. I love
loved
the
it.
movie.
Oh my
I
God,
loved it,
good.
but their Wanda Maximoff is a one gigantic loophole in that movie.
I
I'm
do agree
trying to
with you there.
steal this person's powers and kill her so I can go, even though I know my kids were fake, I'm going to go to a universe where they were real. And it was like, and then if you watch WandaVision, you're like,
she had a
dude,
nervous
you
breakdown.
know,
That was the whole point of it, though. Like, she had a complete nervous breakdown when Vision died.
she had
and then
a
WandaVision
breakdown,
happened
but
as a
she also
result.
saw that the real Vision was not dead. She could easily use her powers to go find him.
That's not true.
and-
He was dead.
He
Okay.
was dead, but
He was
at the end of
dead,
it,
and then that was not even actually the original Vision. That was basically
That
a
is-
copy of Vision that was
They-
created
no,
by
they
her and
made
then
it- they
got
made a great-
sentience.
okay, Vision in her dream, or the one that she made,
The Vision and her
saved
visions.
him and made a good point about the ship.
Yeah.
That if you take the whatever the ship it was from the Greek era, and even though they have it in a museum and they rebuild it piece by piece, it is a copy, but it's not a copy. And he
Right.
unlocked
It's a
everything
different thing.
inside of him, and Vision just flew off.
Yeah.
The
And
real
that's how
Vision
they did
flew
the whole
off.
White Vision story. Yeah.
Yeah, and White Vision is a real thing in the comics, and it's
Oh
like
yeah, I know.
right there, Wanda. They fucked up Wanda real bad with that. Wanda
I didn't
is a
mind it
villain.
as much, but the thing is that she's not. She is, but she's
No.
also not. It's like this dichotomy.
There are parts of her. There are she's the one who in the Uncanny universe. She's the one who's like no more mutants
Yep.
because
yep,
she created
yeah.
the universe. But at the same time, she does go through her times where she loses her mind and she becomes bad. But in that movie, it was like, no, it was a cool concept and they did great with it. It was so cool. Sam Raimi saved it. He
Oh,
did.
He did. He did.
But Wanda Maximoff, I'm sorry, it was like his hands were tied with it. Was absolutely tied with it. It was like they're like
was.
it was almost like he was kind of saying Disney's saying we have to do it this way and I can't do anything about it.
But a
You know.
couple of really important things happen. One, they've announced it's pretty much for sure that Evan Peters will be reprising Quicksilver, being Quicksilver. So now the thought is he really was Quicksilver all along in WandaVision, but somehow when he came through the dimensions, like through everything,
Well,
he was brainwashed by Harkness. And
no,
he believed that
he wasn't. He didn't
actually
in the
he
show
called her.
WandaVision. He didn't come through. It was his version here. It was Evan Peters' versions here in the MCU.
Right.
The 616, whatever they're calling it. I think
No,
it's
it's what they're
616.
talking about doing with it now. The spin up and to have a deeper explanation was that she didn't just create him like she did her kids and other stuff. She called out to him somehow, and he came over from that other reality.
No. Well, no. That's actually what happened in the show is the witch, the other witch, found him
Harkness.
and brought him in. No, within the universe and just made him think he was Quicksilver. He wasn't brought over from another universe.
No, I'm talking about what they just announced that they're probably going to be doing is that they're going to explain it as if that happened, but he really was Quicksilver all along. And it was part of this double fuck she was doing with Wanda and him. It's weird stuff that they just announced because they're talking about Halle Berry coming back as Storm. They're talking about Paquin coming back as Rogue.
Well, Mariah brought up a good point. The big reset, whatever they're doing. Bring that up again real fast.
Which one? She has.
So-
Wait, there's
No,
four
right
comments.
there in the middle, right?
Let's
Two,
go. Let's go.
three
through
up
all
from the
Let's
bottom.
go through all the
Okay,
comments
go ahead.
first. Thank you. There you go. There you
Vision
go.
was dead in her reality, and the Vision in WandaVision was a blank slate. That is true. Until you watch,
Penetrating it.
has been spawned forth. Bottom line, what they have done with her had to happen in the comics. Scarlet Witch has a reset.
Period.
No,
She has her blazing trail of vengeance and destroys
She
things,
does.
but then she loses her powers and memories after coming close to death. So this is the setup for them to let that happen and do her reset.
it might be a setup for them to let that happen. But the problem is with Disney is they keep fucking things up with that. The thing with this though is, and I'm sorry, I'll argue with people on this. Wanda, Vision, the
My
fake.
head's about to explode.
Hey,
I have a headache
Please let me
still.
finish. Stop. The fake Vision did open everything up in the blank Vision and start to set things right. He just flew off.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Good night, Slippy.
Night, Slippy. I think we might be done here. Seconds.
Yeah, I'm pretty.
We should have a
We
Marvel
have to
episode, man.
remember to take the MCU created by Disney and completely remove it as being anything but loosely based upon the comic books. Because
Yeah.
you
Disney-
can't-
Agree, yeah.
some things they
Here's-
do and some things they don't, and you just have to deal with
Yeah,
it. Like
It's like Star Wars.
I wanted to
or-
see this happen so bad, but it didn't. But
Well-
okay, they
I
gave me
will
this,
say-
and
One of
it's
the
same
biggest.
thing is like I was like trying to explain to my mom when I have to stop explaining to my mom because she'd be like she really likes the Thor movies, and I'm like, okay, so in real mythology, and she's like, I don't care, and then I'm like, okay, so in the comics, it's I don't care. What happened here in this movie? And so that's why I've had to like remove myself from trying to tell her the backstory of anything on where it came from other than what the movies do. Because
So, what DC does, everything in DC started the multiverse with comics
That's true. yeah.
because they absolutely started and they knew how to handle it from the start because they're gonna
Flashpoint.
like they were like, we're gonna have a million other writers come in here, and they're gonna write their own stories of it. So how can we handle that? We'll make the real multiverse here now, and they proved that with Batman Metal that just came out a few years ago. In
That
that,
was good.
they brought
Not
all
to
the
be confused
universe.
with Bat Metal.
Bat Metal. I'm sorry. No, it's actually Bat Metal. I think it's called that. No, Bat Metal was the whatever.
No, Bat Metal's the joke one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but Batman Metal is you had the Batman Who Laughs,
That's my
which,
favorite,
and
by
then
the
you
way.
had their own Justice League version of them, and he gets combined with Dr. Manhattan. He starts coming after the they call it the Underverse, the Dark Universe, and that's where he's from. And then you had the main continuity, which is the universe that's above everything else. And then, in order to combat Batman, the Who Laughs, they brought in, babe, what are you?
Just
They brought in
ignore me for a second.
they brought in all the other universes to fight, and one of the one to help out. Well, one of the ones they brought in was the actual DCEU universe, and it was the Henry Cavill Superman. It was the
Yeah.
Ben Affleck Batman. It was all of them, because they all exist, and that's the one thing that Marvel is really fucking up on with that, because they're like, all of us, how are we going to introduce this? We're going to have a multiverse right now.
You get
and-
why though. You get why they had to do that as a company.
No, they
did.
fucked up on
They
one
did,
thing.
though, because
They
of
fucked up on calling the main continuity, which is the MCU, the 616. That is the comic book universe. And I know I'm getting real nerded out here, but
You're
the
right, though,
one
about
thing
that.
that DC doesn't mess up on the 52, the new 52, that is the comic book continuity. And so I know they rebooted that several times,
oh yeah,
but Marvel messed up even with that, going, well, screw it, we own it. We're going to make this the 616. No, you're not the 616, because the 616 encompasses the mutants, Avengers, everything. And it's like, no, you're not. You're not that, because you don't even have the mutants in there yet.
which is why they had to do a multiverse, because they got everything back.
Oh, no, they have to.
From there, and they haven't had Fantastic Four, and for the longest time, not having Spider-Man as long as they did for the Sony thing, about almost fucked up the MCU. But not having Professor X during Civil War specifically was one of the most hurtful moments to all of the MCU.
All of it. Everything they did. The fact that
But
You
Deadpool will fix
we-
it all. Deadpool's gonna
Oh.
single-handedly fix everything by himself, because that's what he does.
we'll see.
And then
We'll
we're gonna
see.
finally get the team up between the two biggest smartasses in the entire MCU, Spider-Man and Deadpool.
If-
And it's gonna be a buddy cop movie, and I'm gonna love
If
it.
what's his face is
Deadpool
not in
is
it,
the
it has to be
Kender.
Tom Holland.
in the frapping of time.
Well, I mean, Deadpool is the one that's going to fix everything, because that's how. And they, I'm sorry, but they actually, never mind. She-Hulk, they fucked up the fourth wall power. They
I love that
fucked it
show
up.
though. It's one of my
I-
favorites for the Marvel shows.
Hated the ending. They fucked it up beyond all recognition.
They did too
Oh.
far with the ending. I do agree with you that.
Way too far. And I'm sorry. That was like, this is the reason why Deadpool has the fourth wall power, and She-Hulk should have never have had it.
Yeah, I agree with you. That should have been unique to Deadpool. But
Kevin
Not just
Feige
showed
is a
back up
robot.
soaking wet.
Sorry. Okay, I guess we're done. Call ready for bed.
I am ready for bed.
You want to take some comments real fast before
Thanks
you
for
go?
hanging
or-
out, everybody.
Okay, so yeah, Mariah says you won't get an argument that Disney is not fucking it up. Good God, look at
Yeah,
what
they
did
are.
to my Star Wars, a bunch of fuckers.
Oh, Star
I'm
Wars.
hoping someone. Okay, let's not start. Let's not, let's
yeah, that'll be a
not.
whole other 2 hours.
But yeah, there's hope. Favreau.
Favreau, yeah, The Mandalorian. I fucking love The Mandalorian. Loved it. The Mandalorian is great. They fixed
Favreau
everything with that.
and Feig are honestly, they're everything.
Yeah,
Legion, yes.
Please.
but they probably won't.
No, I actually do see them bringing Legion in. I do
And
see
now,
that happening.
because of the ratings change and them allowing finally rated R movies at Disney. It's changing everything. I think we'll see Legion. We just got Werewolf by Night, for fuck's sake.
Well, I mean, look, Disney did originally do rated R movies. I mean, and scary movies and stuff like that.
They weren't
They
rated
did
R,
do
though.
some. I mean, this is back in the 50s when rated R was
Nope.
actually would be something.
They only did
Did-
G back then.
No,
It-
like
it's literally
Escape
like
Witch
her-
Mountain, like that.
It was G.
Was it?
Serious.
Yeah.
It was
What-
everything was
Look,
G.
just because
The-
they were scarier in concept didn't mean anything. They didn't cuss. They didn't
Everyone that worked for Disney had to sign a contract that they would only ever do G-rated films, from cast, crew, actors, everybody. And if you went to another company and you did something that wasn't rated G, you were fired. It happened to Kurt Russell. That is why Kurt Russell had the big Disney exodus, because he made a PG-13 movie and Walt flipped the fuck out.
Then he came right back with Ant-Man.
Yep, much later.
Sorry.
But yeah,
He did not Joel of the Nile was the second one, but what was the first one again?
Romancing the Stone.
Such a good movie.
Love this.
God damn.
But what I
All
want
right,
is that
guys.
we need to do a special episode about Marvel and DC, and a special episode of Star Wars.
yeah.
Like, just later on this year, that'd be fun.
I mean, I think we could do it the next week if you wanted to.
I'm down.
We've got some
All
fun
right,
stuff
guys.
coming up, guys.
Yeah, lots of
We'll
cool
be
stuff.
figuring it
Oh.
out and letting you know.
This
Forward.
Wednesday.
This Wednesday, it's Shannon and Tyler West, the owners of Scurryface.
And then the SAS starts next
SAS
week.
starts this
Or-
coming week.
Yeah.
And then the week after that, I don't really have much of a schedule yet. I was actually thinking this guy might be able to jump on a Wednesday with me again.
Sure.
never
Because
know.
we're
We'll talk.
both in the SAS.
Well, not officially yet, though, right?
They have not picked. It hasn't started,
They
and
haven't started
they
yet.
haven't picked.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean.
Yeah, officially, unofficially.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I do have another guest coming on from Silo of Screams.
Nice.
So the Mad Butcher, he'll be on the 18th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And You Can't Set With Us starts back up again the end of January, first week of February.
And I think
So-
Owlite, we're resting on right now for a little bit, and we're gonna do a couple different things. Del and I are gonna do a
Yeah.
couple different things. And as soon as I get everybody to actually sit down and talk to me about it for more than 5 minutes, we're gonna do a D&D show.
I will say this: there's going to be a couple more people who come on with You Can't Set With Us.
Nice.
It's going to be cool.
yeah.
People from within Psycho Bunny, not like random people coming out. I'm sorry, it was
And we do have a show coming up that will be. I already have 4 guests lined up for interviews.
Nice.
So, all in the horror community, we're gonna have some fun with that.
Heck yeah.
In
Oh.
Sock Puppet Theater.
Yes. And
With
the
goats.
Razzles and Baker
Your
show.
goats.
Yes.
Yeah, the
yes,
Razzles?
The Razzles and Franker show.
You don't
it's
wanna
probably
miss
just
that
gonna be
one.
us arguing about pop culture
Culture.
and shit.
No, yeah, that should be the name of our show. We should do that. That should be an official thing, dude.
I would fucking let's fuck
I
it. Yeah,
love
we're
it.
doing it. Because I am so stuck on pop culture. I fucking love pop culture.
Me too.
Yes.
Me too.
Constance, I will touch base with you. We're gonna see what's going on with that. For sure.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh, the D&D stuff.
He just said that.
Yep, sorry.
Yeah, I mentioned it.
Well,
I've
he
been waiting
just
on.
said that.
I've been waiting on all you guys to like talk to me about it so we can get it going, man.
I can do it on the fly, man. You just tell me when.
All right, guys.
All right, guys.
Thank you for
Flash
joining
warning.
us. Yep, flash
Second.
warning. Bye.
He knew the world would not be the same. Few people laughed. Few people cried. Most people were silent. I remembered the line from the Hindu scripture, the Bhagavad Gita. Vishnu is trying to persuade the prince that he should do his duty, and to impress him takes on his multi-armed form and says, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds." I suppose we all thought that one way or another.